We are live. It's so good to be live.
I'm live. You're fucking live.
I'm live. What?
I'm live. You're fucking live.
It's just you and me right now.
You are.
It's just you and me, kid.
I know you are, but what am I? I mean.
That didn't work.
So I learned about Rule 11 sanctions.
Great. We'll get to that in a second. Have you heard of the Batman effect?
The what?
Have you heard about it?
No.
Let me share it with you right now. It's called the Batman effect. A female experimenter appearing pregnant boarded the train. In the experimental condition, an additional experimenter dressed as Batman entered from another door. Passengers were significantly more likely to offer their seat when Batman was present. 67.21% of people gave up their seat when Batman was present. When Batman was not in the room, they were like, fucking fend for yourself, lady.
Amazing.
The Batman effect.
So this is a really compelling case for, I mean, I don't think anybody's surprised, but the
Present Foz is here.
Oh, sweet. Social pressure is a huge motivator for people.
So you know that there's like a socialist like European country that's going to get this data,
yeah,
and they're going to deploy Batman,
yes,
in the subways.
Yeah, it's so great. I love it.
You're gonna we're gonna go to like Norway or something to visit Norway.
No, but what I was saying is that there's a ton of really interesting studies about social pressure and how it influences people's behavior.
Yeah.
Another one was if somebody is like experiencing some sort of crisis in a public place, everybody, it's like the normalcy bias sort of thing. There's probably another word for what exactly this demonstrates, but if there's nobody who's telling anybody what to do, nobody will do anything. Like people are really reluctant.
We need a boss.
People are really reluctant to like take action that is outside of the norm of the social group in which they're in to address what is very evidently a crisis. So people who are first responders, they learn that if you need help from the public in a social setting, you have to point to somebody and you have to be like, you do this thing and like mandate it. I mean, like, delegate it to one person.
There's so many different ways to apply that creatively, like in writing and in film and wherever else. Like just knowing that, having that absolute understanding, that's a way to create a beat. It's a way to create subtext. Like that's really neat. And that's like the kind of thing I put in my creative shelf, This
is another thing. The Batman effect is also like one of the really common biases that con artists exploit a lot is the authority bias. Like you will obey authority regardless of whether the authority deserves to be obeyed or not. Like if you
we see it happening now. Obviously.
Like you can tell somebody what to do if you're wearing a lab coat. Much easier than if you're not, or if you're dressed up like Batman. I wonder whether they experimented, like, did Batman have to look at the person in the seat?
I don't know. I didn't read the article because the headline was good enough for me. I was like, that's such a party.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's pretty damn cool. By the way, do you remember when Megyn Kelly said on her show that it wasn't pedophilia, that they were 15-year-olds. It's not like they were 8-year-olds. So this a 44-year-old woman was sentenced to 26 years in prison for felony sex crimes involving teenagers aged 14 to 16. Right in Megyn Kelly's sweet spot there. So Megyn Kelly, man, I don't know what she's up to, but if it's any of that, she could be looking at a quarter of a century behind bars.
She did say,
for her, like, not a big deal.
She did say, I mean, like, I'm not trying to excuse it. This is very horrible. But I was like, but what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? I mean, I don't buy that.
What are you fucking doing?
Yeah, crazy person. So we've got a bunch of people here. Delicate's here, and All Scientist is here, Ren is here, Ridus is here, and asking us if we have done our homework.
Yes,
I have not.
I did my homework.
Great. I'll comment on your great and hard
My
work.
homework involved reading Ridus's post and also searching for, back in May, MJ, the lawyer, did a whole threads about this Rule 11 sanctions motion.
Oh, cool. Yeah, she's amazing. By the way, Foz says that Michael Keaton was the best Batman, and I'm going to agree.
I agree, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also love
He didn't put on any bullshit.
It was Tim Burton,
everything
right?
was real.
Wasn't it Tim Burton?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be fucking amazing.
But, I mean, I have problems with the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't have problems with him as Batman.
I think that it's if you want to make a movie that looks like a comic book, he's a really good person to do that with.
By the way, the other thing that we haven't talked about that I've been meaning to get to, because it's huge news and actually kind of inadvertently involved Leonardo DiCaprio, because his testimony helped get Fugees rapper Pras sentenced to 14 years in prison.
He just got sentenced?
He got sentenced to 14 fucking years in prison.
What was the charge again? I forget.
For illegal donations to the Obama campaign. He was up to some shady ass shit.
Oh my God, they threw the book at him, bro.
They threw the fucking book at Pras.
That's crazy. 14
years, man. Diddy's like,
I know. That's really wild, because like that's kind of a victimless crime. Whose money was it that he diverted? Dale.
Is it a victimless? It ties back to that Malaysian fund, actually. Like, he got those dudes involved because Leo actually testified before a grand jury. So
yeah,
there was like some. I don't have all of it. I did.
Do you know where the money came from?
I did read this massive. Actually, Mateo, who may join us this evening, sent me a while back. He sent me this fucking great Variety article. I'll go dig it up. He sent me this great Variety article that really explained exactly what Pras did, and it was intense. He was living the life of he was living a movie, dude. It was wild what he was up to.
Oh yeah, wasn't it like espionage charges too?
It was like espionage shit, bro.
You know, I kind of feel sorry for him, because I do genuinely believe that he wasn't really super aware of the kind of shit he was getting involved in. You know,
it's gnarly, bro. He is not looking at. He has been sentenced. He is in custody. He is going to jail right now for 14 years. He's been working with trying to get a Trump pardon like everybody else in jail. But yeah. Wild fucking shit. So I definitely want to get into I'm going to get into a deeper groove on that, but look for that. I'm going to bring some, a pot of tea.
Well, if he's in general population, they're probably going to take good care of him, because, everybody loves his music. So, and it's not like he hurt anybody. Did he hurt anybody? I should ask.
No. I'm sure his time is going to be served in one of them, like, when the fuck am I getting out of here?
Yeah.
Mister? One of them.
Mister? Isn't that what?
Can I get $5?
Yeah.
So I can get something to eat. That was played over me and Ethan's when I fall in the movie.
Yeah.
And I land, and there's that look on Jenny's face. This is in Dawn's Plum, of course.
It would have been perfect.
It was so good.
You couldn't get the song?
Good. Huh?
You couldn't get the Fugees song?
No, that was where I really got my first lesson in what it's like to get like one of the biggest, what it's like to try and get one of the biggest artists' music in your film that are alive. It's really hard.
Justin Baldoni.
Like, we tried to get Fugees, and basically they laughed at us. They were just like, they're like Led Zeppelin, dude. They don't really sell their music as much as they decide whether or not whatever you're asking for is worthy of their music. And I'm like, you break my heart, because it was
perfect. Yeah.
El perfecto. All right. So those are my little ones that I wanted to drop in before we get into the biz. The dirty little biz. Cosmic Energy's here. Anna Hathaway was a good Catwoman. Anna Hathaway. She looked great. I didn't see it. Did you?
I did, yeah.
Which one was that?
Oh, I can't remember, dude. There's like so many. I didn't think she was very good. I thought Michelle Pfeiffer made the fucking best Catwoman. Because she, she fucking owned it.
I have to see. I don't know.
Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman was... So, Anne Hathaway's Catwoman was just a cat burglar, basically. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman was like possessed by darkness.
It was the hairstyling, wasn't it?
No, she basically died and then was resurrected into a 9 Lives cat, and she acted like it. It was awesome.
I guess we should also talk. It was, yeah. I just glanced and saw that Colleen Hoover headline in the sort of sad interview about how she kind of wishes she never wrote the book now, and how this book was so close to home that she had to endure all these criticisms about how she handled domestic violence in the book, but wanted to stay true to the story and not true to what people wanted from her as a writer or as a storyteller, because it was her mom's story. It was one woman's story, and she wanted to tell a one woman's story. And I thought that's touching. And, and I can understand, how that could be an incredible, I always talk about when I work with writers and stuff about, having those pillars in your story that cannot be moved. They're the ones that, like, when I talk about how people take notes, one of the first things I talk about is how they have to set what are the pillars of the story. That is the things that cannot be changed by anybody's note. And that was one of those things, because those, when you have those pillars in your own storytelling, you have, a really profound guiding light, one that cannot, it just gives you, for me, it just gives me so much purpose. Like I can't be taken off of it, And what's really cool about that is that if any adjustment ever does come to a pillar, it's going to be because you went through a rigorous process that will have made that moment monumental, even more monumental than the pillar that was its foundation in the beginning. So anyway, I've gone off on that too long. Colleen Hoover, I felt bad for her. She said she wished she never damn wrote it. She says when people don't know who she is and ask what she does, she said, and she says she's a writer, in her mind, she's like, please don't ask me what I wrote. I don't know why that would really be what goes on in your mind, since she's written enough to just say, oh, I wrote,
I know.
Whatever she wrote, because I don't know what she wrote. She wrote a lot of books.
I thought it was interesting how she was like basically making a non-comment, like she wasn't being specific in how she feels, but she alluded to a lot in her interview. Like she was talking about how this whole thing really damaged some of the actors' lives.
Yeah, she's talking about, what's interesting about that too is because she said, and she's talking about Justin too, it's easy to be on both sides there.
I don't know that she would call him an actor because...
Well, he certainly was.
No, but they knew each other as he was the filmmaker that optioned from her. And they've had these long email exchanges where he was the filmmaker and director. And
yeah, she also said that she said she has her story.
Yeah.
She's like, she's not sure what the truth is. She has her story. She says that she's going to keep it to herself because she doesn't want to, speak her story and hurt somebody, which was very clearly, or cause anyone harm.
That I thought that was super relatable,
yeah.
And I thought that was really big of her.
But it was
to do
very
that.
Clearly Justin Baldoni in the sentence.
No, I understand.
It was
I thought that was really big of her to do that, like really mature. Like I feel like maybe if Justin Baldoni had maybe had a little bit more of that attitude, he could have avoided a lot of this damage.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, listen, some things are going to play out and we're going to see how it goes. And I have my story to tell. But in the meantime, we're just going to get through this process. And, I don't know why he couldn't just do that. It's very, very wise businesswoman of her to lay low. Right. Mm-hmm. She did this interview, hopefully about other things, too. Hopefully she's promoting something that she really enjoys. But I feel bad for her, man. I mean, I think she's had a rough go of I think it's getting better now because she had another book of hers that was turned into a feature and it's fine. But she was talking about in the emails with Justin Baldoni when he was optioning this one that she had a previous filmmaker raise money. He optioned one of her books and then raised money on it and then split.
Yeah,
the money.
Screwing the investors out of the money.
Yeah, but also she was like, you raised money off of my readers.
Like
my fans gave you that money.
Yep.
And then he just split. So she was like really wary. And I was like, damn, what is up with her? That
and they justify it because they wrote the script that didn't get made or whatever however they spent that money in their own way.
No, she didn't say that they spent it at all.
No, I'm saying they probably justify it in that way. I'm not saying that she did. I'm saying when you in that situation, you're like, oh, we had expenses, Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just talking about the conversation that they have with themselves to justify taking money for something that didn't happen.
Right.
And in some cases, there might be some expenses that need to come out. But anyway, Colleen Hoover, man, it's a strange and wild career, and I think it's another one that you need to look at astrologically because
I did.
You just brushed over her chart earlier. No, I mean in depth.
Yeah.
Because you just brushed over her chart earlier, and when you did. She almost has absolutely direct astrological correlations to the troubles that she's had as a writer that also includes and shines some light on why she's so successful. So she has this great success and it's very apparent in her chart, but also this unrest that seems to come to her in waves. I mean, this was not her first, barbecue. She got basted real bad on the book itself and her entire career. Before all of this happened, I remember going on Book Talk, doing research for my book and releasing my book and how to market it. I failed. And there were these book talkers burning her books and like just and saying horrible shit about this woman. I'm like, what the fuck did she do? You know,
it is
crazy.
very gnarly.
Yeah.
So 2 things about her chart that sticks out to me. Obviously, she should be a writer. She's very prolific, and it shows up. She's doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing. She has like almost every planet in her 5th house, which is your creative expression, and it's in Virgo, which means she aggregates and organizes information. So it's like that's very much a writer's placement. She's got like her 5th house is fucking stacked. And it seems like that must mean that she really enjoys it. But one thing I noticed was that she has Pluto in her 6th house. Your 6th house is of your like daily work, like the kind of work you have to do. That's kind of a slog, like chores, but also like caretaking and self-care sort of work that you have to do every day.
Yeah, they call it chopping wood and carrying water.
Yeah, like you can't miss that kind of work. You fucking have to do it, and it sucks. I have a bunch of placements in my 6th house, and like I can tell. But she has Pluto, which is one of these really weird planets where it just basically brings you challenges constantly. So in her 6th house of work and working relationships, she's going to have power struggles. She's going to experience reversals of fortune. Could be reversals of fortune in either direction. Could be like all of a sudden shit turns great, or all of a sudden everything's fucking destroyed, you know?
Yeah.
Just like these sorts of things that you just have to, like Pluto's known as the destroyer. And she has that in her 6th house.
What's crazy weird about it is, hopefully you can grab this concept, but each house has a sign in it, and that sign represents what the ruler is, because each sign has a ruling planet, and the ruling planet of her 6th house resides in the 9th house, which is the house of publishing.
So her work, her daily work being involved in
like
publishing.
Instantly you can draw as an astrologer, you can look down and you probably wouldn't even say it, because it just seems so unlikely that would be, a 2% or a 3%.
Yeah.
But her chart is like spot on as like that she would have work that would be, that would be likening that you can liken to chopping wood and carrying water, labor, that would lead to publishing or be in the publishing field. It could also mean academia and other things as well. But obviously publishing is where it lands with her. But we definitely want to get into a more in-depth reading later when we do. We're going to figure out the whole astrology component. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we inserted a little bit here and there. But I got a couple more things just real quick to get through before we get to our actual party hardy. And the first one is that P. Diddy's prison, Fort Dix. I made a joke. I was like, he's going to Fort Dix. I mean, he can't hate that. And, like on one of our lives, and I just made a little joke about it, being a, retired comedian. Well, anyway, he says, here's the headline. P. Diddy prison overrun with inmates having mass sex orgies in showers at night.
Overrun?
He's having freak-offs. He went to a freak-off factory. He's like, oh shit, this is where it all comes from. This is like Willy Wonka finding where the candy comes from.
That's so wild. I can't believe he wants to leave.
Yeah, P. Diddy, he probably is like, I don't think I learned my lesson.
Forget the pardon.
I think I'm very, very, very bad.
Listen, I can tell I'm not reformed just yet.
Hey, the food sucks, but the party is real.
That's so crazy.
Isn't that nuts? But yeah, so apparently, he's potentially right at home in that situation. Who knows? But yeah, P. Diddy.
So is it a problem for the prison?
Apparently not, because it's overrun. If it's overrun with them, the prison's just like, I'll be over here having my Cheetos. You boys, you just wash off when you're done.
God.
Who knows what they're doing?
Weirdo.
I know, it's all weird. The whole thing's weird. Okay, I think that's it. That's all I got for you right now from my little stuff that I've been kind of catching on throughout the day. So I'm ready to go, I think, into our primary story. So first of all, let's go ahead and answer. Well, let's hit the chat before we take off. And
a scientist said it's called the bystander effect. Your Batman
the
experiment?
bystander effect. Okay.
It's called the bystander effect. It's not just a reluctance to not.
I like the Batman effect, as a name.
Oh, no, this is the bystander effect is the one I think I was referencing.
Oh, that you're speaking about.
Yeah, let me see. It's not just a reluctance to not get involved. It's also assuming someone is already taking care of it. Yeah.
I've gone through that.
So if you're ever in an emergency and some shit, you need some help from somebody who's like in a public place with a bunch of other people around. You have to literally point to them and be like, you need to help me right now.
Neat. It's such a neat, it's like I said, that's a whole thing that you can work with in writing in so many different ways, because it distinguishes two different people. immediately, the person who would be the bystander and then the person who would take action. And I just think that's true. And, and you can conflate that with, like something like heroism. But in reality, it might just be, just a part of their personality. So they might not quite be hero, but yet act heroic in these situations. Pretty cool.
People are debating who is the best Batman.
Well, we know because we've already decided.
Well, we haven't seen Pattinson. He might be amazing. I don't know if he's better than Michael Keaton, but a lot of votes for Christian Bale, but I thought his voice was stupid.
Yeah, when he did that, I was like, what are you doing? That's not right.
Nobody needs you to do that.
And I guess I can understand the psychology behind it as an actor. He could be like, people are going to be able to know my voice. He has a very distinct way of speaking. And so I don't know that he would, and I think if you remember that, there was a slight change in Keaton as well from Bruce Wayne, because the personality of Bruce Wayne was, hey, let's go, what are we doing? We're talking about business. I'm a businessman and let's talk about business. And then when he's Batman, he was like, yeah, now we're talking about business.
Oh, so they were trying to do the whole but Christopher Reeves puts on the glasses and nobody recognizes him as Clark Kent. So
it's the most annoying thing.
I also didn't like the
works good in comics though. Like in comics, you can suspend that disbelief. Right. But when you're sitting there watching everybody watch the guy be Superman with glasses on and a suit, you're like, oh, come on, stop it.
I also didn't like Tom Hardy is a really great actor, and I love his early movies are fucking incredible. But I didn't really the voice work he did for Bane is really annoying too. So all over that movie, I'm like, what's with the voices, guys? Cosmic Urgency said that Michelle Pfeiffer is my favorite Catwoman, but Anne Hathaway's was comic book accurate.
Which one?
Catwoman.
Whose was?
Anne Hathaway's was comic book accurate.
Was it? Yeah. Well, she's a damn fine actor, so it wouldn't surprise me that she did the work and came up with a great result. I have to watch it. I do. I want to, because Batman's one of the ones that I've always watched. Mm-hmm. That's why I was like so anxious to. I was so excited to see Superman because the talk was so big about it.
Hanada said it made sense what Colleen Hoover was saying, but it was rambling, and these people online were quick to jump on it. Yeah, they are fucking eviscerating her, and it just really doesn't take much for them. Like they're reading into how she fucking betrayed Justin or something. It's outrageous. Like I genuinely have to believe that it's a smear campaign or that it's paid for. These are bots or whatever. These people that are paid to do this sort of stuff, because I cannot believe that anybody gives a shit this much about whether Colleen Hoover broke up with Justin Baldoni. Like, there's no way that you guys genuinely care that you're gonna like dogpile on Colleen fucking Hoover of all people, as soon as she speaks out and doesn't say anything, It's just super, super weird.
I tell you, this woman, she just takes it. Alwan's asking if there's a small chance that Justin Baldoni would show up in the Epstein files. I'd say there's no chance.
No chance.
Yeah, I'd say there's zero chance of that. Listen, I think Justin Baldoni's problem is that he can't grow up. I think his problem all the way up until this event, at least, is that he just refuses to grow up. And I think that he might be in that situation, and this is obviously just me speculating entirely, but I feel like he might be in that situation because he's entirely self-absorbed. And you can, I think, in these kinds of
like Peter Pan syndrome
patterns, stunt your own growth. And I think he's stunted. I think they talk like frat boys. And listen, I mean, I'm not judging the guy for it. The problem is that he didn't understand, he didn't become aware of it, and he put himself in a position where he had to behave differently in order to succeed. You know what I mean? He couldn't afford to make the kinds of mistakes that he was making by position. What happens in a situation where he's not in that position is Blake Lively goes to the person who's in that position and says, this fucking guy over here is bugging me, bro. He's saying stupid shit, and I just need you to do something about it. And the person in position goes over to Baldoni and says, hey, Baldoni, straighten out, and he learns a fucking lesson. That's not the situation that he found himself in. So unfortunately, he was running the show, and he was also, breaking the rules. And so can't help a guy very much in that situation if he's not self-aware and he doesn't have anybody around him to be like, yo, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm still reading his memoir. because I'm like scraping through it for.
I know you've had an absolute like.
I just like sneer the whole fucking time.
The whole time.
Because I'm listening to the audiobook right while I'm like cleaning the house and stuff. And it's just like the guy, his lack of self-awareness is just shocking. And he keeps saying this really fucking dumb shit. And obviously the book is not written for me. So like, I can't criticize him too much. Like it's not, it's written for other men. And like, apparently he's had an impact on people's lives and that's wonderful. But he'll say some things like this that I keep saving because I'm like, well, this is really insightful about the way that you think.
Yeah, just because he has a, impact on somebody else's life doesn't mean he impacts yours or mine.
No, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, but listen.
It's like religious people who have impact on people's lives.
Just today, he said, for most of my life, receiving feedback on my actions or the words I use tends to make me inherently uncomfortable and defensive. Is something he wrote in his book. And I was like, well, I mean, there you have it, dude. Like, this is a you problem. And you admit that it's a you problem.
Yeah, and I mean, he constantly does say that, doesn't he?
So
he says it. He says it in his book. He says it in his interviews. He says it on the TED Talk. It's a me problem. I've got to get over it. I don't even know if I'm qualified. He said to even talk about this.
For most of my life, receiving feedback on my actions or the words I use tends to make me inherently uncomfortable and defensive. But there's an upside, as that discomfort is now how I know I need to listen and that it's actually good for me. I learned recently that if I change my relationship to the feedback and don't take it personally, like as if it's an attack on me, and instead think of it as a way to help myself grow to become a better man, friend, human, etc., then I'm not only able to hear it better, but I can also reframe it as a challenge and actually implement the feedback. Okay, well, where was that guy?
That guy was absent.
What?
100%. He's still absent.
What happened?
See, that guy stops and goes, well, wait a second. Why is this happening on my set? Why are people feeling this way? What can I do to make them feel differently?
I just really believe that he was stressed out enough that he reverted to his worst tendencies. Like it was just like a regression because the guy who wrote that book seems pretty elevated, right?
Yeah.
And he was
it just
writing
feels like
it
a sloppy use of his power or misuse of his power. I just feel like he doesn't. To me, it seems like he's in this powerful place and he's got no check system, implemented. There's no way to check him. So I think it's easier for him to be in that position and disregard what people say compared to being in a situation where he's subordinate and has to listen. And so in that situation, I think he can walk away and be like, in his mind, resolving situations because he's the boss. So it's like, oh no, that isn't what that is.
But I just
we saw it in their summary judgment that we read yesterday. They say a bunch of shit like it's like, no, this is how it is. It's a Baha'i set, etc.
Well, that's the thing is I think that in this, he's talking about in situations where he's not the boss, where he has to assimilate to other people in a social situation. And I feel like that is challenging for him, but that's a place where he can learn because he's not in charge. But here we have him in this story on the set where it's his set, it's his workplace.
Yep.
Everybody else has to adjust and fit to him. And I think that he really internalized that and it made that defensive reflex every time he got feedback. It made it into like insubordination in his mind.
Yeah.
Where he was like, well, how the fuck dare you criticize me? Like, this is my place. You're in my house.
My house.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it shouldn't have been any different for him. But I feel like just the stress made him lack that introspection. I just feel like sometimes this happens a lot in trauma therapy where people are like, okay, I've made really good progress and I think I can confront the thing that used to trigger me and it really stressed me out and I think I'm prepared for it. But you don't know until you're actually in the situation and your blood pressure spikes and you're like actually like stressed and the stress hormones are in your bloodstream, how you're going to act. Because everything you've been doing in your trauma therapy has been like in a safe environment where you feel like you can trust what's going on and what's going to happen. Yeah. So I think that was what he was making all of this progress mentally and emotionally and becoming a better person. But then he got thrown into this set where it's like a high paced environment. It's a lot of moving parts. He's got a shit ton of responsibilities, probably way more than he should have taken on. And he's the guy who's responsible for everything. So I think that he just couldn't cope anymore. He thought he was ready, but he wasn't, And maybe that's why he can't talk like this guy who wrote the book anymore. Because he's reverted to prior to that guy, He's reverted to the dysfunctional person he wrote the book about, not the person he was when he wrote it.
Totally. I think that makes perfect sense.
I don't know. I'm just psychoanalyzing him because he's a celebrity and,
Foss said he's a vulnerable narcissist. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that diagnostically. I can't say that.
It is interesting how solicitous he is of all of his friends.
So solicitous.
He's like, please coddle me. I am very problematic and I keep making messes for myself, but you guys should make me feel better right now. I'm texting you so that you can.
No guidance. Not looking for guidance.
No.
Not looking for fucking. He's looking
he just
for
wants-
support.
I know.
To support how he feels. It's really quite discouraging. By the way, I wanted to say one more thing that is unrelated, and then we'll get you to read the document. But before I get there, just want to get this out real quick. Larry Summers, he's the first to go down on the Epstein, like go down. He had to resign from OpenAI on the board.
Ooh, congrats.
Love
that for
he's
him.
all shamed. This motherfucker went into his class, stood in front of his students and said, there's these things going around the Epstein files. You know, I'm just going to it's something I have to go through, but I've decided that I'm going to continue teaching.
Why would he do that?
So he's going to stand in front of students. I mean, they're college, but still. Is this some fucked up shit or what?
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is like you pay an insane amount of tuition these days, bro. I would not. I'd be stomping into the fucking dean's office, being like, "Can I get my money's worth with somebody else?"
Yeah, I think we're going to hear his resignation soon, especially as
you don't get to keep that job.
I couldn't fucking believe it, but a student taped it, so I heard it. Like I listened to him talk, and it's just unbelievable that a man with that mountain of shame. I mean, it shouldn't even be shame.
That's
should
why,
be
Dale, because he doesn't have any shame.
Yeah,
because he doesn't understand that there's consequences.
it's a phenomenal thing to witness.
It's like he's got to screw loose. That's exactly what makes somebody where he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna fight it like a man. Like, no, bro, you actually need to go away.
These are all these things that
he doesn't understand the severity of the issue.
Trying to get up. Yeah,
but that's you. You can't understand the severity of the issue in order to get into that mess in the first place, right? Like he's in that mess because he's got a screw loose already.
Yeah.
It's not like he only just loosened the screw.
100%.
Ritus is asking, have you guys ever discussed Rebel Wilson's lawsuit involving TAG? And we have not, because it's just,
I've glanced at it a few times. I've looked at some of the motions and obviously the whole website scandal, but I haven't got into it in depth because my plate's so full.
I'm only interested in it to corroborate Lively's allegations that Melissa Nathan does shady shit. You know?
Yeah.
That she has other clients she does shady shit for. I know that Rebel Wilson that they were talking about building a website for her too, like a hate campaign, like takedown website. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Foz is asking, what happened to Ferrer may come out of it. Come out if it goes to trial and she testifies.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
No, I think she will be testifying. I think that
poor girl. I thought about her today. I was like, damn, dude, your first movie gig and it's like this. That fucking sucks.
Well, on the one hand, on the other hand, you know, everybody saw the movie, and after we saw it, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, she sounds like Blake. She looks like Blake. Yeah. Like, okay, so if Blake loses, you know, Hollywood's got, you know, their next Blake, you know, in line. I think, you know, in the end, it didn't do anything but good for her. You know, if it's her first movie, it did nothing but good for her, especially if she's just doing her thing and doing, you know, she's not ruffling any feathers. She's going to tell the story as she understands it. And she's not in the middle of any of this. And her movie did $340 million. I mean, I know who she is.
Yeah, it's great.
Everybody knows who she is. She's probably the one benefiting the most out of this as far as actors go.
We totally forgot that Ben Affleck was Batman.
Paz is asking you for live on the weekends now. We are tomorrow. We were last week.
It's not gonna.
It's just a workload.
It's not a permanent thing. I'm just trying to get through some of these documents for you guys.
Yeah, I imagine that when the trial's on, we'll be pulling Saturdays and shit, and probably
December is supposed to be sleepy.
Yeah, so December
Everybody
we can
goes
get
on
back to
vacation.
talking about claymation.
Oh, another celebrity non-news. So this isn't news, but the astrologers are calling that, according to, because astrologers love to be fucking nosy as fuck in celebrities' charts.
Yeah.
So they think that oh shit, I forgot her name. Zendaya might be pregnant just because of her chart. Isn't that fucking? Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I mean,
astrologers are the worst.
It's kind of the worst. Hey, by the way, actually, before we get you reading, can we do the 11 thing? What is it?
The what?
Wave 11.
Oh, Rule 11.
Rule 11. Cool. Yeah, let's do Rule 11, shall we?
Okay, so I'm basically just like.
And feel free to jump in and help us out anytime, Ritus.
Okay, more with MJ, or MJ the lawyer.
Yeah.
Wrote on Threads.
Okay,
This
great.
was back in May. Okay. So this thing's been cooking for a really long time.
Yeah,
I remember we talked about it then. Yeah, and I think we even read this.
We sure did, yeah.
Okay, but Rule 11, according to MJ the lawyer, said Rule 11 of this Federal Rules of Civil Procedure says that lawyers and their clients cannot file claims that are legally baseless,
Right.
factually unsupported, filed for any improper purpose like harassment or PR spin. And if they do, the judge can sanction them. She says monetary penalties, formal reprimands, or orders to pay the other side's legal fees.
It's also just a badass. Look, I wonder if it ends up getting to the jury. I wonder if they end up, if they get sanctioned, if something like this goes down, if it ends up like, evidence. But go ahead.
Oh, I know. I wonder. I don't know.
You would think you'd be able to say, and not to mention that during blah, 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 the defendants acted in this such way, producing this kind of result, which was like a sanction.
I mean, it's definitely going to, okay, so.
Or in arguments closing or opening.
Whatever they deem to be a violation of Rule 11, they won't be able to argue in front of a jury. So it'll basically just be, I think, like a straight defense. Like they have to defend themselves from her allegations, but they can't bring up any of this, like she stole the film type shit, because that falls under Rule 11. However, and this is really interesting. So Blake went after sanctions for Jennifer Abel, Melissa Nathan, Steve Sarowitz, Jamie Heath, It Ends With Us movie, and their lawyers, Brian Friedman, Mitchell Schuster, and their firms.
No Baldoni?
But not Baldoni.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's an interesting play. MJ, the lawyer, doesn't explain it, but she says it is not subtle. That is definitely intentional.
That is not subtle.
I think
that's obviously not subtle.
I think
she's in love with him. I think Blake Lively wants to be with him.
What I suspect, and I don't know anything about anything, so correct me if I'm wrong, if this sounds stupid, but I think that maybe she's just like, no, let's have it out. I don't want to sanction you because your claims should be disproven in open court.
But
so everybody
sanctioning
so everybody could see the look on your face when I call you the fucking liar that you are.
Yeah, but sanctioning isn't a resolution to anything. It's just a sanction.
You don't think so? You don't think
No.
that it means that these people won't be able to argue their claims?
No, not at all. They're being sanctioned for some kind of behavior or lack of participation, whatever it might be. You read it, but
so according to the motion, she's claiming that this lawsuit was a PR weapon and not a legal one.
right.
This is MJ, the lawyer, saying this. Blake Lively's lawyers urged the lawsuit was filed to damage her public image,
Yes.
fueled by media leaks and wild accusations, and full of claims that were dead on arrival.
I can't believe the exhibit they have. I mean, they have a goddamn website.
Mm-hmm. So what
Wow.
happened yesterday?
Yeah.
So the judge ruled. Rydas arrived here with us. We're so happy to see him. And said that the judge ruled in her favor. But what it was it wasn't a ruling on the Rule 11 sanctions. It was a ruling about whether she wanted to supplement her motion for sanctions with new evidence that she had obtained in discovery since May.
Juicy.
And so the judge ruled in her favor for that.
That's fucking juicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know why this is still pending. MJ, the lawyer, didn't think it was, when she said her prediction would be that it would, they should have 14 days to respond under the local rules unless court or Judge Lyman sets a different schedule, is what MJ, the lawyer, said. But that was back in May. So obviously this thing is still pending and she's adding to it. And so I don't know when we can expect a resolution.
Hey, man, these things go slowly down the pike. Rita says, this order gives Lively the right to submit discovered evidence. Wayfarer gets 2 weeks to reply why it shouldn't be allowed. Then Lively gets last word as to why it should. Then judge makes ruling. So basically,
I'm here for it.
Just basically, he's
conceded.
He's a pawn kind of running out of trouble, trying to get out of trouble.
I'm really like following the breadcrumbs with the evidence that they're unsealing and new evidence and stuff. I'm just like eating it up.
Shannon's here, by the way. Say hello to Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Thank you for hitting the like button, Shannon. Shannon is incredibly kind to us, as are all of you. So let us continue with then the actual damned motion for summary judgment. Let's get through it. Let's go. I'm buckling in.
All right. Okay, where we left off, they were talking about all that had happened all the way up until the writer's strike made them pause production, and then she had her she called a meeting and had their 17 points that she was saying that these are the things that I require in order to return to production. Okay?
Yeah, before you begin, I'm going to add one more thing. Ryder's just added that really sums it up beautifully. It's kind of a new mini discovery that only she gets to add evidence to. Oh, it's really funny. You know,
I love that for her.
It's like it sounds biased when you put it that way. You know, it has a legal foundation for why it's that way.
It's her motion.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, of course.
It's not like a fucking.
Yeah, it's a granted motion, and
no, it's not granted yet.
Well, no, this portion of it has been granted, right?
Yeah,
she's So go ahead.
Okay, so this heading is this is the motion for summary judgment that the Wayfarer parties have filed in court. Yes. Okay, this is picking up at H. This is on page 11. The second phase of filming proceeded without incident. Filming resumed on January 5th, 2024, and concluded February 9th. So January 5th was also the same day that Justin Baldoni was soliciting some, comfort from his prayer group, saying that he had never been berated like that. So that was the day he was supposed to return to work.
One of the worst days.
So she called the meeting and berated and
the worst day of his life.
That's he said it was the worst he'd ever been treated. But so she called that January 4th meeting right before they're supposed to get back to work. I wonder whether she was pissed at Ryan Reynolds being like, dude, you can't. You can't fuck up my, because I wonder whether it was like super tense on the job after that.
Well, it started that way at least, Well, of course, man, the whole thing's a mess, but yeah.
All right. Okay. Filming resumed on January 5th, 2024 and concluded February 9th. Lively raised no further objections and told another female cast member the set was professional, in quotes. Whatever issues had been raised months before had been fully resolved. Then Lively used her famous friends and connections to take control of the film.
It's so funny that he said fully resolved there, and then like previous said, but that she reserved her legal rights. Like it fully resolved according to your dumb ass. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're actually not citing any evidence.
After a conclusion.
After several of these
parties?
Sentences, they'll cite evidence that I can go and cross-reference. A lot of it is still remains sealed. Like anything that comes from her side is still sealed. So we can't even read it. But after this, they're not even citing anything. They're like, we have no evidence whatsoever, but whatever issues had been raised months before had been fully resolved. They're just hoping we trust that.
I don't believe them.
Me neither. The next section is Lively used her famous friends and connections to take control of the film. And this looks like this. They don't want to tell the story. I mean, I guess they do because it's in there, but we can't read it because it's all Lively stuff. So let's see. I hope that they can prove this because I have not seen anything. Okay, shortly after filming wrapped,
well, first of all, you have to, yeah, okay. I mean, it's like it's an intangible idea.
I know.
Like there's no actual taking over of anything.
Yeah, it's also
you would expect an occupation, or you would expect some kind of like signing over of property, some assuming of rights. But none of that happened. There is no taking over. He's talking about an inner struggle that a court has no fucking say in, unless there were laws broken within their so-called wresting of control of the film. Sorry.
Maybe she took some bolt cutters and like just clipped like a Blake Lively shaped hole in the fence. And then crept through, right? And then like shimmied open a door.
In that black,
and then like slid in,
dress
with
wears.
like a balaclava on. Yeah. And then she like grabbed the satchel that the film was in, and it says, instead of like the dollar signs, it has just a reel on it. So she's like, okay, that's the one. And then she grabbed it, and then she like
did that like
crept out
that little
on her
thief creep out
on her tiptoes. Doop doop doop
doop doop doop doop. She has stolen the film. Yeah, it's like, and the idea of like wresting control of the film. And the other thing about that is like, I don't know how that helps them when the film went on to make $340 million. Like if they made that claim and the film was a big giant flop and everything was just a fucking wreck. Oh, well, now you got something. But they're like, she stole my film and made me rich. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I know. He's like crying into like into his pillows, but they're all covered in dollars.
Yeah. He's like pile of money being dropped on him, and he's like, she took it all except the money. I get the money. It's just a weird thing. I don't know how you're going to convince a jury that there's a real problem there when you're the fucking guy, cashing the $340 million checks.
I don't think you can. Okay. So specifically this is occurring, according to them, after the filming wrapped, that they have nothing to say about her taking control of the film prior to the finalization of the film. Okay.
Okay.
So that's a different story than the one they used to tell.
Yes.
They used to say that her claims of SH were part of her scheme to take over the film. But they're not saying that anymore.
No.
Okay. Shortly after film wrapped, Lively told Sony she would not agree to promote the film unless she was permitted to participate in the edit. Thereafter, she amassed an enormous level of control over the film.
That has to be a lie.
It cannot be that she controlled any part of the film.
Well, first of all, it is a lie. It can only be a lie.
Okay.
There's no way that Blake Lively's contract didn't have a requirement for marketing. There's no way.
Oh, okay. So you're saying this part. Lively told Sony that she would not agree to promote the film unless she was permitted to participate in the edit.
I will be shocked if that gets proven. If it does, then, I will be shocked. I will just be sitting here in utter shock of that. I don't believe for a second that they're going to get a Sony executive to sit down, I've said this a million times, under oath, and claim that Blake Lively basically
ultimatumed. She made an ultimatum that said, I'm not going to...
extorted it, right? I mean, isn't that extortion?
I have to participate in the edit or else.
I just don't believe for a second that that's going to happen. I don't think for a minute that any Sony executive is going to be like, yeah, man, she came in and she was like, yeah, listen, it's
here's
this
the
or
evidence.
that.
Here's the evidence that they have of that. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like this.
Okay.
That's it.
That's their evidence?
That's their evidence.
Oh my God.
This is a text from Henny Grace, which is Justin Baldoni's burner account. Okay. So Justin Baldoni said this. This is what they claim is evidence of her extorting Sony. Okay.
Yeah.
He said, if you have 5 minutes to meditate on another predicament, we got the call today that Blake won't promote the movie unless I let her into the edit with me. That's it. That's all.
So you know what they probably said? What they probably said is something to that effect to him, but nothing that she said. The only thing that they might have, it's going to be interesting because there's no way that she was not going to meet her obligations to the film and promote the film. There's no way.
Yeah, but he needs to answer for what gave him that understanding. Well,
where I'm going is that the only thing that I can put together, the only thing that makes any sense to me in this situation that could possibly lead to that is that the conversation was more like, you know what, dude? She is talking about getting Taylor Swift involved. She's talking about doing so much more for this film than she's contracted. What am I trying to say?
Contractually obligated.
Contractually obligated. Thank you. My fucking brain just broke. And we don't want her. We want her to do all these extra things. Extra things is the key word here. So this is extra things. If it's anything at all, then she's like, I'm not going to fucking do all this extra shit for them and that's going out of my way when they're treating me like I'm some kind of fucking, PA on this film.
Yeah. She's like, I'm an executive producer and I intend to act like it.
Yeah. And I've never once, acted differently from the beginning of this film.
Yeah. Right.
Which is what I told in my Forbes interview. He should have watched that.
There are plenty of text messages when they're like totally collaborating really, really well and eagerly collaborating before the filming began, which was just a few short months before this. So, it isn't strange for her to be like, okay, why am I all of a sudden locked out? Because he was really solicitous. Like he was always asking for collaboration and assuring her that her collaboration is not only wanted, but that it's really improving things.
I feel like this is an example. This little bit here is an example of them planting seeds for their public. This is a legally broken argument. I think the judge already knows that it's illegally broken up. It's once again it's starting to feel like, and it's just weird because on the one hand I'm like, are they writing this so that they can get the kind of publicity that they want the same way that they did their lawsuit? But then I read all these depositions. We just did all these depositions and there's so much bad for them in there. It's just crazy. Like there's mountains of bad evidence as opposed to mountains of good evidence, in my opinion. I mean, I'm no legal scholar. You know, I couldn't even take the bar.
So the only thing that they have as evidence of Blake won't promote the movie unless I let her into the edit with me. So that doesn't count as evidence. That's basically just him having an opinion about something.
Or narrative or assumes a fact's not an evidence and all that stuff.
Exactly. So apparently this was thread participants include somebody named Julie Walker. Do we know who that is?
No. I call her Jaywalk, but no.
And then, Justin Baldoni is texting Julie Walker.
Instantly jaywalk in my life. If that woman came into my life, I'd be like, "What's up, jaywalk? Let's go break the law."
Okay. That's what they're trying to pass off as evidence in this throughout this motion for summary judgment is just them sending text messages to themselves.
Well, that's garbage.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And I've said this before. You know, I've said this really since the first time that this silly notion became, known to us. That there's no way on this earth that any Sony executive is going to sit under oath in any fucking trial and talk about Blake Lively extorting them and leveraging her star power against a 104-year-old multi-billion, billion revenue and powerhouse studio.
I hope that
never going to happen.
I really hope that they do display some of that testimony at trial so everybody recognizes how fucking stupid this sounds.
Can't wait. Well, because the question will be direct. I mean, to every Sony executive, did you at all ever blah, 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 blah. I mean, if it were, they probably wouldn't even be introduced. But okay. I would just love that.
So thereafter, that was the text message that they're using as evidence to support this was on February 22nd. Okay. So thereafter, she amassed an enormous level of control over the film. When Lively received pushback, she recruited famous friends, redacted, to support her.
Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds?
I don't know.
Or maybe Todd Black?
It's a pretty big, it looks like it's several names because it takes up a big black.
Sandra Bernhard?
Rumpelstiltskin.
Lily Tomlin?
While disparaging Baldoni to them, and then redacted. And that is, that's also an exhibit that I can look for. Anyway, this is a big black...
big hunk of black.
Big hunk of black.
Redacted. Yeah,
it looks like this. This page looks like this. We don't get to see it. No. Okay, what I can read is, Lively also insisted on changes to the film's credits, redacted, and removing Baldoni's film by credit altogether. We've already disproven this.
That's the most ridiculous lie. It's just all these guys do is lie. It's
such a fucking lie.
It's a fucking lie. Oh she didn't have that power.
I can't believe that they're going over this on Lively's side. Like their lawyers are going over this and they're being like, it's the same bullshit again. There's literally no new evidence. It's just the same fucking lies that they couldn't
junk
that they got their fucking their lawsuit thrown out for last time.
Yeah.
In a June 25th, 2024 letter to the Producers Guild of America, big redacted block. And then all they leave in the center of this block.
Which she fucking earned.
This right here?
You
Do you see that?
Yeah.
All that says is, it is a remarkable document. That's what they let us see of that big block.
You know what's remarkable, bro? That movie made $340 million. That's what's remarkable. It was a good movie, but that it became a box office smash is, really quite baffling.
Okay. Next section. Lively stirred up negative press about Baldoni and the film. Apparently not content to have wrested directorial and editorial control from Baldoni. They're so fucking sassy. Lively set out to...
I want more.
I know.
She said with saliva dripping from her lips and chin.
Apparently not content to have wrested control and editorial control from Baldoni, Lively set out to destroy his reputation and alienate him from his own film. Lively and her famous husband unfollowed Baldoni on social media, encouraging the press and fans to suspect a feud.
Look, everyone, what I'm doing right now. I am unfollowing Justin Baldoni. And I suggest you all do the same.
His own publicists noticed, and they were like, well, just telling everybody that they weren't following you to begin with. And then it's like, no big deal.
What I'll say about
his own publicists about this were just like, dude, it's not a big fucking deal.
Yeah, you're the one.
You're being such a baby.
Such a baby. And look, I don't think it was a good idea, for them to do that.
Who knows if they even did in the first
I
place?
have all kinds of social media filled with people I should have unfollowed a long time ago.
We cannot know if they did in the first place. Nobody noticed whether they had
If
prior.
they did, I'll then with the caveat that if they did, it would be, it's a criticism I have of this whole thing, that if they in fact, as individuals or groups unfollowed him to the extent that it was noticeable, I think that that is an unfortunate move by them to do before the premiere. After the premiere, man, throw that trash out. But you know what I'm saying?
It's so high school. Okay.
Exactly.
Unsurprisingly, the press took notice, redacted, but Lively wanted more.
They unfollowed him a year before that, says Foz.
Oh.
So that's just the press.
It's so ridiculous.
So that's just the press.
Okay. Unsurprisingly, the press took notice, but Lively wanted more. On July 22nd, redacted. We don't get to know. Ultimately, Baldoni was allowed to attend so long as he left the red carpet before Lively arrived, waited in a basement while she and her famous friends were photographed, and then watched the film in a separate theater.
Well, because they want the seats, not your whole fucking family. They want the seats filled with press because it's a press event. It's not a fucking party for Justin Baldoni. Mm-hmm. Justin Baldoni's whining about him not having a party for himself.
That's right.
And it's not a fucking party event. It's about putting the star of the movie, Blake Lively, in front of cameras. So they snap. She gets to talk delightfully about her experience and all of the wonderful things that this movie is going to bring audiences worldwide. While Justin Baldoni sits in a transition room for him and his extremely large party.
Yep, a whole entourage.
I don't know if you'll remember this, but they published Blake Lively's unsigned contract, and in it, she got +1 for the premiere.
Yeah.
She got +1 from them. That's who gave it to her. They gave it to her by contract. She had a fucking +1. And now they're saying that she put him in the basement. But we already know, because we have proof, because they provided it for us, that they were in control. That they made the contracts between them about who gets at the premiere and how many fucking seats they get. But Justin Baldoni has a fucking trailer park full of people, right? And look, I mean, it's great, man. It's your fucking big moment. You directed a movie. You're starring in a movie. You want your family there. You want your friends there. That's cool. But you're going to have to go wait in the fucking room that can hold them.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And you're going to have to go get a separate theater because we want to fill these people with the Hollywood fucking Reporter, fool.
I'm going to put you in the basement if you don't settle down.
I mean, can you fucking believe that?
I know.
But this is the kind of shit that people don't know what's going on. Because can you believe that? This was Justin's moment. No, it fucking wasn't.
No, it was
It's literally a super expensive marketing event to sell the movie. It has nothing to do with Justin fucking Baldoni and the fucking boner he has for himself.
At first when we first started doing these lives, I was like,
"Can I get a mod on that, please?"
We're gonna be really measured. I'm gonna try and control any biases. We're gonna try and be really really balanced.
Thank you so much.
And now, just a few months later, I'm like, fuck this guy.
Oh my god! Well, that's the most infuriating thing in the fucking world. Dude, the basement where he took fucking pictures with that fucking snide look on his face. Mm-hmm. This guy's a lying asshole. This guy is a lying asshole.
Just dropped any pretense of
and he fucking because he fucking planned it. This was all planned. Mm-hmm. He's walking down and he says in his own stupid fucking ass complaint how he's like, I never said a bad thing about her. You planned to. You literally planned it. You had your fucking friends. You did the pose around the fuck. And by the way, if you saw where they were actually being held, where there were chairs and tables, that's not where they took the fucking picture. They went to the pallets of water.
No, you know what really infuriates me about that? It's on the same line as Jamie Heath, disrespecting his wife by showing her fucking private home video on the set to strangers. Okay, but so Justin Baldoni took all of. I don't know if you noticed, but it was all the women that were with him.
Yeah.
That were dressed in gorgeous gowns and stuff.
They looked amazing.
They looked incredible.
The whole fucking crew looked amazing.
He made them all sit on water pallets.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable, fucking trash pile. Made them sit on these water pallets and pose for the pictures. I don't know what compels you to disrespect your friends and family that way, but he basically just made them props for his own fucking self-indulgent fantasies of how he can blame Blake Lively for some shit he made up in his own head.
Hey, Marlon Brando was a weird fucking guy. Or, well, let's go with Woody Allen. Woody Allen's a fucking strange ass dude. That motherfucker wouldn't even go to the Oscars. He would not go. Nominated, best director, best writer, time and again, would never go.
Because he's busy playing clarinet.
No, because he doesn't make movies for that.
Yeah.
Because it's the movie that mattered. say what you want about Woody Allen. He's a fucking creep, undoubtedly. But his work is just some of the best stuff. Separate the artist from the man, right?
Right.
And or the artist from the art. And here you have Justin Baldoni, who couldn't be more absorbed in this, which is the most superficial, inconsequential thing going in the whole movie. The only thing that mattered was the movie.
You know what's weird about this is
fucking premiere like it's a goddamn wedding.
I know. I don't understand why he doesn't ever just stop and think for a single second. You know what? I'm actually just really happy to be here.
I can't wait to,
I don't know why.
I'm so glad you said it, because I can't wait to, I haven't loaded it up yet because I'm having some technical problems and I'm working with Blackmagic. But when I do, I'm going to be loading up all of his little
working
clips.
with Blackmagic sounds really funny. Like you're like, I put some cinnamon and cloves on it.
What's the matter? You having trouble breathing, buddy?
You're talking about the software.
Yeah, no, the software Blackmagic. I'm going to be able to load in it all of the things that he said on the red carpet, because it's just a fucking school of things that I just can't wait to show, either because there's only two things that it proves: that he's either a liar or he's a two-faced asshole. He's either one of the two things going down that aisle, talking the way he did on that red carpet, especially about Blake Lively.
Well, he seemed really genuine.
So then maybe he's...
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know anything about him, man. He's a fucking weirdo. Okay, the next one is Baldoni and Wayfarer then hired a crisis management team. It was in this context in late July 2024. Who
set him up for the big fall.
I know, dude. They're like, you know what, dude? If his PR professionals were basically like, okay, what's the worst that could happen? Like, he loses his whole career and he's like left with absolutely nothing, but we're rich, right? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, this guy said he'd be willing to spend $100 million. How do we divide it?
That's so great. Okay. It's exactly what fucking happened, dude. Okay. It was in this context in late July 2024, over a year after Lively's concerns about the on-set behavior that had been fully resolved, and faced with a new set of concerns related to media coverage surrounding and following the film's premiere, that Baldoni and Wayfarer first entertained the concept of hiring a crisis PR team. Even as the negative press intensified, Baldoni's team, led by Heath and his longtime publicist, Jen Abel of Jonesworks, agreed that it would be a mistake to fan the flames and that redacted. On July 25th, Baldoni and Heath met with the agency group, TAG, Melissa Nathan's PR firm, to...
it's a pretty goddamn good name.
Yeah. When she calls them her tag team, I'm like, that's so smart. You guys are really good.
You can just walk in, the brand, you can just see it, the hats, the fucking everything.
Yeah.
Everybody's good.
You guys are really good
whole
at this.
Fucking behind the scenes people.
Okay, so on July 25th, Baldoni and Heath met with the agency group, Melissa Nathan's PR firm, to discuss retaining the firm for crisis management. In subsequent messages, Wayfarer reiterated that it did not want to take any offensive steps and that Nathan would not be redacted. On August 2nd, 2024, TAG circulated the scenario planning document that has been the subject of much of Lively's ire. As the title suggests, the document simply laid out a menu of possible options. It was not an agreed-upon plan of action. Immediately after the premiere, numerous outlets published stories about the feud between Lively and Baldoni. This was, in part, prompted...
So they were ordering fried chicken.
What?
They were at a fucking barbecue.
Oh, the scenario planning?
Yeah, they were just like...
They laid out a menu of possible options. Yeah. The menu...
And on it was the cheapest one was $30,000 a month monitoring.
Yeah.
$30,000 a month, bro. Let me tell you that publicists, like the good ones, are $8,000 a month tops for monitoring or for, managing the public image. Mm-hmm. $5,000 to $8,000 a month, top level. $5,000 to $8,000 a month. That's the highest level. Obviously, that's a lot of fucking money. Who here can drop $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year on your personal image? They're dropping almost $500,000 for monitoring. Come on.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Even the judge was like, that's not reasonable.
You're fooling nobody, bro. Yeah. You're fooling fucking nobody.
Okay. Baldoni's PR team, led by Abel, Nathan, and Tag, distributed positive information stories about Baldoni and worked to mitigate or minimize negative ones, which is standard.
He's a good egg.
which is standard operating procedure for PR professionals. Baldoni himself made numerous positive public statements about Lively. Yes, all of this is standard. All this is totally fair. What he's describing could have happened and he would have been fine. However,
he went above and beyond, and that's why I can't wait to play these, because he went way above and beyond. He didn't talk about how, oh, she's such a good actor and how great she was on the set. He started talking about her as if he was some kind of a mentor to her. Like, she's ready to direct, he said. Has nothing to do with the movie he's working on. Has nothing to do. He's talking about this woman's future. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's such a different fucking, he wants to paint this picture. He's a fucking two-faced liar, is what he is. He's a two-faced liar. Because if you're going to do this, if you're not going to say something bad, you're the boss, you got to say something good. If you got to say something good, you're going to stick to, everything within the movie itself, her performance, right? Hey, at times, man, I just think she lights up the screen like all the greats. You say things like this, you know what I mean? You're selling the movie, you're selling the star, you do that stuff. Yeah. This guy got into I personally know her. We've been there. It was a union of sorts. I'll show it to you. Stay tuned between now and the trial. But you can all find this for yourself on YouTube, of course.
Okay, continuing.
Yes.
Motion for summary judgment. On August 7th, Abel told Nathan that she was still waiting on the green light from Heath to put the social combat plan into motion. Oh, they admit it. On August 9th, Wayfarer engaged street relations, Judd Wallace's firm.
Social combat plan does not sound like we're just planting some very favorable stories. Mm-hmm. Combat.
Yeah. On August 9th, Wayfarer engaged street relations, Judd Wallace's firm, to monitor social media concerning Lively, Baldoni, and the film. Contrary to Lively's claims, Wallace testified, redacted. This is very interesting. To monitor social media concerning Lively, Baldoni, and the film. Mm-hmm. Lively is not your fucking client.
Well, no, because you would monitor her if you feel like she is spreading, bad press. So you would monitor her in that respect. Mm. In the same way that they monitor Justin Baldoni.
At the same time, redacted, like two full lines redacted, hoping to avoid any adverse publicity that could interfere with the reception of the newly released film.
Yeah, that's why the only evidence so far put forward about anybody potentially threatening, jeopardizing, and possibly even fucking ruining the release of the movie was a note from Sony, was a text message from Sony, a Sony executive to Jamey fucking Heath saying, you're not playing ball and you're going to fucking ruin the release of this movie. That's the only evidence in this entire case thus far of anybody doing anything that potentially jeopardized the release of this fucking movie. And it's fucking Jamey Heath. Not Blake fucking Lively.
That's right.
Nobody else. Jamey damn Heath.
That is the only evidence.
That's the only evidence thus far.
All right, next section. Lively suffered backlash. The attention commanded by Lively's star power and by news of their purported feud was a double-edged sword. By virtue of all the coverage, she was put under a very public microscope. In August 2024, she experienced a massive outpouring of negative sentiment, but the undisputed evidence shows Lively's own missteps were a significant driver of that response.
A significant driver.
Undisputed. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Massive. Notice the word they used. Massive. Which is so interesting because that gives
a massive outpouring of negative sentiment.
It's so interesting that they used that word, because that is that word, and the the results of all that is what makes it so profoundly obvious, because it correlates, that mass of fallout that he's talking about correlates precisely with the hiring of Tag and
this is
the seeking of a bully.
This is the graph you're talking about, I think.
Like Kirsty Flaw. Somebody who would claim Blake Lively a bully. Kirsty fuck
This is
Flaw.
the graph you're talking about?
Yeah, see that?
This is in Blake Lively's amended complaint.
So you can imagine what that red is.
So the red starts in August 2nd.
August 2nd.
And then this real big dip, this like big block of like red right here, that starts at August 9th.
August 9th?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop. They started planting right at that moment. Well, that was Kirsty Flaw, wasn't it?
August 9th?
Right. Well, she was August...
She was August 10th, yeah.
August 10th.
Yeah, so that is right August 10th.
is right in the blood letting of her entire career right there. Boom.
It's like 3 bars in is Kirsty Flaw.
Is Kirsty Flaw.
Anywho, sorry for the low tech showing you my cell phone.
Dude, it's
trick.
not low tech. People do it all the time on YouTube, man. You're doing it. You're flying. You're playing. You're playa.
Okay, where was I? In August 2024, she experienced a massive outpouring of negative sentiment, but the undisputed evidence shows Lively's own missteps were a significant driver of that response. That's pretty disputed evidence, actually. Several press outlets picked up, for example, on Lively's decision to cross-promote a serious film about domestic violence with, among other things, her husband's summer superhero blockbuster, as well as her own hair care and beverage products.
Oh, you guys are such dicks. What's particularly interesting about what they just said, though, is that they just said all of that, this coming after they already heard from the judge who said that there is significant evidence that that Wayfarer parties conducted a smear campaign. I mean, in the judge's ruling to throw out the case, he already contradicted everything they just said there. The judge did. That was the judge. The fucking judge. They're telling the judge again.
I know.
That he's like, hey, I know you said it's another way, but we're saying it's this way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Just trust us this time.
Can you finish that off again? Because the last part was significant, and I was so distracted by the audacity of them to literally look the man in the eye after he's already told them that there's a significant pile of fucking evidence that shows that the smear campaign occurred.
But the undisputed evidence shows Lively's own missteps were a significant driver of that response. Several press outlets picked up, for example, on Lively's decision to cross-promote a serious film about domestic violence with, among other things, her husband's summer superhero blockbuster, as well as her own hair care and beverage products.
Well, that's going to be interesting to hear that. I'm very excited about that, how that goes down in the trial. Because
I also want to hear about Sony.
I'm pretty sure Sony's going to be signing off on that if it was tied in any way.
Yeah, they're going to be like, brand integration is something that we always do if we can with our. Yes,
and there's always a booze involved every time.
Yeah, right.
Always.
Lively also came under fire for past missteps, including redacted. Lively does not dispute that any of these events actually occurred. She merely insinuates that defendants had a role in bringing them to light.
By the way, I just want to point out that Ryan Reynolds had a similar fallout, almost exactly the same fallout, with the release of I Like Me, where suddenly there was this deluge of bad press about how what is it, colorblind, whatever, not colorblind, how tone deaf. He was, and how insensitive Ryan Reynolds was because they served booze at the premiere of I Like Me, because John Candy, according to the people who were posting, he struggled with alcohol.
Dude, it's got to be the same publicist.
It's the same fucking people. It's the same fucking. You're telling me it's you're the same exact smear.
Nobody had a problem.
Exact same smear.
Nobody had a problem with this before.
And by the way, his children said in his autopsy is that he died of heart disease.
Yeah, not alcohol.
John Candy died and also had he had a, we call it hereditary issue, right?
Yes. Yes.
Some kind of genetic dysfunction or whatever. You know what I'm saying, bro? A broken heart. He had a broken heart.
Is your mic too far from you?
No, everything's good, man.
Okay,
I got
cool.
it, man.
Okay. Lively does not dispute that any of these events actually occurred. She merely insinuates the defendants had a role in bringing them to light. So this is probably referencing her past statements from like fucking 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, we'll see how that flies. It won't even make it to a jury if it's that shit.
The evidence does not support her headline claims. After months of scorched earth discovery, what the fuck? I mean, you guys are lawyers. You do this all the time. What the fuck you mean scorched earth discovery? Backed by a pound.
It does them no good to write
Check
that.
out this hyperbole. Yeah, I know. The judge is fucking fed up with
Absolutely
this shit.
no
What
good.
are they doing? Okay. After months of scorched earth discovery, backed up by a pounding drumbeat of almost daily motions to compel, Lively has been unable to identify any instance in which any defendant distributed or promoted any false story about her, even after subpoenaing dozens of content creators. Almost daily motions to compel? That's interesting. Why would she have to file motions to compel? Is it because you guys aren't participating
What's
in
interesting is that
discovery?
you're about to get sanctioned for all of that.
Yes.
What's interesting is you're telling the judge what the judge already fucking knows.
Yes.
Do you see what Shannon just did? You should look.
I also the only reason why she has to file motions to compel is because they're not fucking doing their job. Oh my god.
We're excited to be here Saturday. Now we're paid to. Thank you, Shannon. That's so kind of you. You're incredibly kind. Thank you very much. Continue.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
She wouldn't have to do almost daily motions to compel if you guys would just fucking do your jobs.
Exactly.
The motions to compel is like, certainly the judge is reading this being like, yeah, that really fucking sucked that she had to do that.
A scientist says, why would you remind the judge of the orders that you blatantly routed?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fucking phenomenal to me. These guys, I just can't believe these guys are high paid attorneys.
It's unbelievable. Okay.
What is going on?
Her interrogatory response, summarizing the evidence of what she describes as a highly orchestrated smear campaign, which we haven't read yet, we should get to that, reveals a surprising truth. What Lively primarily objects to is Baldoni's effort to defend himself, whether by promoting positive stories or trying to suppress negative ones.
That is absolutely laughable. Can you imagine?
It's not defensive, it's offense.
It's so weird that they would put that in there because they're obviously trying to paint this picture of her trying to suppress this guy from promoting his own goodwill. I mean, nobody is going to believe that.
Also, suppressing negative stories.
Other than, Baldoni fans, of course.
Suppressing negative stories, like, are they truthful? Like, I understand the job of a publicist, but the reason why I think that they're fucking up and why they're going to get in trouble and actually be liable for the things she's claiming is because they're supposed to keep her name out of their goddamn mouth. Yeah. That they keep making stories up about her and drumming up all of this hate for her is exactly why they're in trouble. If they had actually done this, promoting positive stories about Baldoni or trying to suppress negative ones, if that was all that they did, they would be fine.
Yes.
He says, but
there would have never even been a lawsuit.
I know,
dude.
But that is not retaliation. Indeed, redacted. Even when certain defendants contacted the press about Lively in August 2024, their efforts were far from the sophisticated internet takedown Lively touted in the press. The few instances in which the evidence suggests any defendant spoke to the press about Lively all involved truthful references to her actual conduct or that of her husband, or the sharing of opinions about that conduct. If any defendant spoke to the press, what they're saying, if any defendant spoke to the press, it was all shit-talking her and her husband or sharing opinions about that conduct. Like they're saying we were only talking about truthful references, but you're not supposed to be doing that at all. Like they're naming her claims right here. The few instances in which
I'm blasted by it.
I'm awestruck by this. The few instances in which the evidence suggests that any defendant in which the evidence suggests. So they're claiming, okay.
They're literally saying that there's evidence that suggests it. Yes. So it's interesting that they're acknowledging now that the judge has seen this.
That the defendant spoke to the press about Lively all involve truthful references to her actual conduct, which is supposed to be not your job. She's not your client.
That's
You're
retaliation.
Not supposed to talk about her.
That's retaliation.
Exactly.
That's what they're going to find as retaliation.
Or to that of her husband, who is not even party to this case or, involved in
Not party.
Or the sharing of opinions about that conduct. Opinions. Like, what was it that Friedman said about her? Called her a demon or some shit?
Yeah, he said some god-awful things that they're obviously going to bring in the Megyn Kelly interview, right?
So they're admitting it. They want motion for summary judgment with this?
They want a motion for summary judgment, and they're literally admitting to the judge that the evidence that will suggest her claims is not what it seems.
That's incredible. Okay, if you guys need to reference this ever, this is page 16 in their memorandum.
It's document. And what do their fans call it? But a mountain of evidence, and you know why?
It's in the bottom
because they didn't fucking read it.
Yeah,
they didn't read it. They got somebody else like Sassy Dave Navarro, or they got fucking popcorn butthead to go out there and be like, hey guys, it's a mountain of evidence in support of Justin Baldoni, who is like Jesus, but not quite like Jesus.
Let me just read this again because this whole paragraph is just so interesting.
Sorry.
So what they do is they start out saying, yeah, we were really fucking clumsy doing this. Like, we're totally not professionals. And yeah, we totally did defame Blake Lively in the press. Oh, and her husband. They said, even when certain defendants contacted the press about Lively in August 2024, before she ever spoke publicly about anything that was wrong in the film whatsoever, right? So this is 2 months before anybody heard a peep from her, okay? Mm-hmm. Even when certain defendants contacted the press about Lively on August 2024, their efforts were far from the sophisticated internet takedown Lively touted in the press. So they're admitting, like, okay, yeah, we suck at this. The few instances in which the evidence suggests any defendant spoke to the press about Lively all involve truthful references to her actual conduct or to that of her husband, or the sharing of opinions about that conduct.
I got some bad news for them, and I think I had bad news for them, because I don't think it would matter. I don't even think it would matter if anything that they said is true, because if she has filed and they're aware of a filing of a complaint of sexual harassment by any of them, they can't retaliate.
No, they can't.
By talking about her in any kind of way that's negative, particular to the event. Like we're talking about.
I'm just clarifying that, because what they're saying is that Justin Baldoni is entitled to defend himself. Defend himself against what?
Against
she
what?
literally hasn't said anything yet.
Against
so
what?
this is a plan of offense. There is no defense having to happen, right? He's
None.
not defending himself against anything. It is a preemptive defense. How's that work? 2 months prior to when she actually says anything publicly, they're trying to defend him. Yeah, it's fucking weird that they're even claiming that this could be. Okay, should I continue?
Yes, please.
Lively has also long claimed defendants used a network of bots to bring her down. Contemporaneous documentary evidence shows that Baldoni himself repeatedly confirmed with both Abel and Nathan that they were not using bots or fake accounts. That is a mischaracterization of that evidence, and it's very interesting, because when Justin Baldoni reaches out to his publicist and he shows them a screenshot of what looks like a bot, right? Yeah. It's because he goes to there's somebody who's defending Baldoni, and then he goes to their profile, and they have like zero friends, 0 followers, 0 following, right? And he's like, this looks like a bot. Is this one of ours? And she's like, no, we don't use bots like that. And what they're saying is that it means they don't use bots, but their wording very, very clearly says, no, that's not one of our bots. Yeah. Where they're like, no, we're more sophisticated than that. Like we don't use bots anymore. We have networks that are, untraceable. Like it doesn't look like bots anymore. Yeah. Like she's like, we're past that. And that's what they use Jed Wallace for, I'm sure.
We're highly sophisticated.
So when he's citing this, where he said, Baldoni himself repeatedly confirmed with
his forms like, yeah, his co-defendants say they didn't do it. LOL. It's like his co-defendant says they didn't do it. So that's the evidence.
Yeah, right.
It's just so absurd.
Well, also what they're saying is he shows them what's obviously a bot, and their response is like, no, if it's that obvious, then it's not us. But they're not saying they don't use bots. They're saying that they use better bots.
They're saying, oh, no, that's not me.
If you can spot it and it looks like a bot, that's not us.
I bet you that's a fucking bunch of bullshit, too. I bet you they do.
Yeah. But they're not going to tell their client that.
Both. I bet you they use everybody.
They're not going to tell their client that that he just spotted a bot and it's one of theirs.
They have layers. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Nathan, in particular, assured Baldoni the backlash was organic. In quotes, organic. She's blown herself up by her own actions. Once media goes in, they go in. You do not do any of these. We did not do any of these. This is all organic.
Yeah. Well, I'll say that we already know that they stirred the mud. All about it.
Yeah, when she says we did not do any of these, it kind of alludes to the fact that they did do
all of it.
No, they did some things, but not the ones she's being shown. We did not do any of these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that like
they're not getting paid to do nothing. Okay.
It's going to be all about like if they can find the origin, like where it really began, and that's the hardest part. Like where it actually really began.
I'm still thinking all the time about how Blake Lively hired a ex-CIA administrative official for her team. Yeah. And I was like, oh, is he doing the
Yeah, maybe it's not so hard. I was just thinking about it like forensically, if you've got the money, it's not so hard. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to get to the fucking store some days. Go ahead.
Baldoni later discussed with Nathan that he had no intention to make Lively an outcast and was praying for her and her family. Wasn't that nice?
There's a new letter. A scientist said there's a new letter on the docket. Wayfarer are terrified about whatever is in the new case documents.
You guys, we have to be able to catch up.
How can I be out of tea when there's so much tea?
I know. I want to read that immediately. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, we are back tomorrow. We're committed.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
By the way, what time is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Lively and Reynolds smeared Baldoni once again is this heading. Okay.
Lively and Reynolds smear Baldoni once again. Okay.
Ironically, Lively's cry that Baldoni tried to, in quotes, bury her more accurately describes her own efforts to tar them. Beginning on August 9th, 2024, just one day after Lively alleges the smear campaign began, redacted, redacted, redacted. 4 days later, redacted, redacted. We don't get to see any of this. Okay.
Because it's probably such weak sauce, but I would imagine that they've all had to agree on the redactments, right?
Well, it's probably a lot of accusations about Sloan, but they tried to make these accusations when they sued Leslie Sloan, and it was thrown out because they had no evidence. So I'm assuming it's the evidence that they're providing to support this. You know, the breaks between these blocks is all them citing the evidence, like where to go find it. I'm assuming that this is probably them, the publicists, talking to each other about something they think is attributed to her that isn't. Okay, shall we?
Advertising the flaw video to TMZ while simultaneously claiming they had nothing to do with it. It's all organic. And I think it's deeper than that. I think they're going to fucking find out that I think it's way deeper than that. You know, remember, Justin Baldoni sent that screenshot of the Hailey Bieber bullying women and saying, this is what we need. And days later, Kirsty Flaw came out with a video saying, this is what we would need.
Yeah. Like, go and invent something like
literally
this.
Days later, Kirsty Flaw came out with a video.
Like an order fulfilled.
Calling her a bully.
Yep.
Literally calling her a bully. There's no way that is a coincidence in my world.
Yeah, that she dredged up a video from 2016.
Dude, if I'm on a jury and somebody shows me a 4 day prior to that, a publicist being asked to create a fucking scenario where Blake Lively becomes a bully against women, and then Kirsty Flaw literally says she was a bully that almost ruined my career, made me step away from my career, is no damn coincidence.
No, of course not. I don't believe so either.
No way.
Okay. Next thing. Lively then used a sham litigation. It's always
says the guy who got his kicked out of the courtroom with serious fucking reprimands.
It's always projection with these guys. Oh my God. Lively then used a sham litigation to obtain the private messages of Baldoni's publicist Jen Abel. Oh, so this is the Van Zandt controversy.
The Van Zandt.
Yeah. Apparently the court thinks that's admissible. Apparently the court is fine with how that went down.
What they did was, create a legal procedure to get it into evidence. It's how it has to be done, you fool.
Yeah. Using a shell company as a bogus plaintiff. Yeah, apparently there's nothing wrong with that. This company filed claims against 10 anonymous Doe defendants, and working behind the scenes with Abel's former employers, Stephanie Jones invoked New York State Court's subpoena power to obtain Wayfarer's confidential records from Abel's personal phone that Lively would not have otherwise been legally permitted to obtain.
Also known as scorching earth evidence.
Oh, yes. Scorched earth discovery.
Yeah, scorched earth discovery. Thank you.
On December 21st, 2024, the New York Times published a 4,000-word article entitled "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine." That is such a fucking boss move, dude. I love Megan Twohey so much.
She's got it out for Nathan.
If anybody listening knows Megan Twohey, will you just tell her that I love her and I hope that she has a really nice evening?
Yeah, I do hope that her days are filled with delight.
Okay, the article relied on documents Lively had obtained through the sham lawsuit, as well as an administrative complaint she filed the day prior. The article asserted Baldoni and Heath had violated Lively's physical boundaries and made sexual and other inappropriate comments to her, and then instituted a retaliatory smear campaign. Weeks before the article came out, redacted. Around the same time, Lively conveniently dropped her New York State court lawsuit, confirming it was not filed in good faith and had only been used as a ploy. What? Oh, okay. So you dropped the lawsuit. That's the Van Zandt Inc. v. Doe's 1 through 10.
Yeah, well, she got what she wanted. All she needed was discovery, so she got what she wanted. Dude, you got outplayed. Would you stop? Would you stop fucking whining and crying about it? You got outplayed. Why aren't you just sitting there stunned? You got outplayed.
Maybe if you guys had better lawyers on your team.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, that's why they make the big bucks, pal.
Okay, this is the last section of the introduction. Okay? Mm-hmm. Or no, I don't know what this
How many pages are left? We are what?
A bunch.
Okay, that's hilarious.
40.
Of
73.
Oh, yeah, okay. So
Lively initiated this litigation, is their concluding paragraph here.
Okay.
In December 2024, 18 months after the minor issues she raised about the on-set behavior were fully and successfully resolved, Lively launched this dispute with an administrative complaint and the fanfare of her New York Times headline. The behavior she previously regarded as not requiring any formal HR process was now presented by two large, sophisticated global law firms as sexual harassment of the gravest kind, and Baldoni's natural defensive effort, after being sidelined from his own premiere, to manage his own...
It's not your premiere, you fucking
No,
bonehead.
To manage his own and his film's reputation by employing experienced PR professionals was now recast as retaliation against Lively for raising purported sexual harassment concerns. Lively's numerous claims against numerous defendants cannot withstand scrutiny. Judgment should be entered for defendants on all claims.
Obi-Mom Kenobi.
That is a great username.
Super solid.
Yeah.
Says SH is minor to creepy dudes.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like a perfect
They're like,
statement.
it's just a joke. You can't take a joke.
Oh, whatever, dude. I didn't do anything, bro. I just talked about your boobs.
I know. And meanwhile, the girl's like, I was afraid right for a minute. Like, I didn't know what you were going to do next. In my workplace.
He's like, why? Why? Why?
That's so intense. Well, you can't take a joke?
What are you worried about? You scared about something? Intimidating men?
That's such a perfect
Hey, what's up?
comment.
Kate Winslet is here. Not Kate Winslet.
Sweet.
I'm trying to remember her TikTok name because I haven't been on TikTok in forever. DiCaprio edits.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I love her. It's good to see her. Good to see you. I'm so excited to see you. I was thinking about you the other day.
The Junk Farms noticed something missing. Hey, where's the Times defamation suit filed in good faith in California? Yeah, they missed that. A scientist said, I love how Angela can barely contain her eye rolling at some points. I know I'm not doing a very good job. I'm really struggling here.
The objective Angela.
I know, so objective. I can't even claim it anymore.
I haven't gone live. We haven't gone live on TikTok since pretty much since we left. I want to. I have to figure out how to, because I really want to go back and have both those platforms. Because I enjoy TikTokers. A lot of these folks that are with us are also TikTokers.
Okay, so the next
Titanic edits. That's right. I'm so sorry.
The next section of this is the argument, but they're citing a lot of case law, and so I don't know whether I'm gonna read this, but I want to save it for tomorrow because I want to be able to highlight for myself what I'm reading, so I don't just trip over these citations. So that's what I'd like to do tomorrow.
And it's only and I only didn't remember Titanic edits because I can't possibly remember, because there was like a Leo edits. It gets a little confusing, but I remember you dearly, of course. I seriously, I was just thinking about you. Why I was thinking about you is because I really want to send you a book. And I just have to figure out how, because you live in England and I live in America. And for some reason, we're not getting along on a trade level.
For some reason.
Can't think of what it is, but...
Okay, so should we get into the chat?
Yes, please.
Or should I keep reading? Should I just, like, is it too...
Well, we should probably get some of the chat, because it's been
premature?
busy. It's been busy. Let's get into the chat. Let's have some fun. And then, look, I'm not in any rush anymore, because like we're just going to get as far as we get, and then we're going to go. We'll be back on tomorrow, and we're going to get through it. We still got the interrogatories, and I can't wait to get into those because those are deep and delicious. But this thing is crazy. I love this reading. This is the best evidence that we've ever been through, especially because it's got all this great heat and weight and emotions and all these things behind it. So we just know so much more.
I also think it's really strange that they're telegraphing all of their arguments and they're like citing evidence, just like making Lively's team's job so much easier, you know?
Yeah.
So like, when he said that she gave him the ultimatum that she wasn't going to promote the movie unless she was involved in the edit. And all that he cited for that evidence was that tiny little text message to one person. You know?
Yeah.
I thought that was really stupid for them to do that. They're making this big claim, but they're showing Lively exactly what they have to support it, and it's fucking weak sauce. So she could just fucking whack-a-mole based on, like, he's given her the roadmap for how to defeat them.
Or maybe they already know she has it.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, it's just like, I don't know what they're doing. So what do you think? Do you think Do you think any of their claims are going to get thrown out?
Based on Lively's? I have no idea because there's like there's 8 or whatever 9 claims there. So it's possible. I don't know. But I don't think any of them, I don't think retaliation or SH is going anywhere.
The one thing that I've noticed that now I recognize that they agree on and that maybe they don't have to fight over anymore is that Lively was not wearing clothing during the birthing scene.
No, the patch, they admitted to it. It's in their own stupid summary judgment.
So
I had a conversation with somebody online about it because they were like, well, if they admit to it, then I'll believe that it's true. And I was like, well, then just go and read their summary judgment. It's right there. It's in there right now.
Yeah, but you also have to recognize that that means they lied. Because their whole argument was that she was wearing little black shorts.
It means they PR'd. It means they PR'd.
No, in their filing. We've only been reading the stuff that they've been filing in court.
Hey, Foz has some really interesting tea in their cup. Jamie Heath said in his deposition that there were not multiple times there were not multiple times when Lively complained. He said that the January meeting was a conversation. And that's true. And that contradicts that right there in that statement.
Tell me.
So, well, didn't you just say that? Oh, no, sorry. Back there. I'm sorry. That's right.
Remind me what you're talking about. So the January 4th meeting was when she would...
In Jamie Heath's thing, he kept trying to say there was only one complaint from Blake Lively, right? And
he said June 1st.
And here they're already saying there were multiple complaints and reducing them all to nonsense.
Okay. I'm a little confused because I never know whether they mean complaint, meaning like she made a formal complaint, or whether they're talking about incidents where she like complained and was like, I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't have clarity on that either. Yeah.
Because what they do admit is that Baldoni's side does admit that there were formal complaints where basically she like went to superiors. She went to managers in the company.
Correct.
And was like, I have a fucking problem. This is an issue for me. These things happened.
And we know she went to Sony.
So that happened June 1st, which was the first, May was the first day that they were filming. So June 1st, 2023, she had a meeting and she was like, there's been several things that happened over this last month that we were filming that is fucked up and we got to stop. And then there was the 17 points, after the strike stopped production, she was like, well, here's an opportunity for me to get them to get their shit straight, because the June 1st meeting obviously didn't do shit and they're still fucking acting foolish. So the 17 points happened, but that was in November that she introduced the 17 points. Then it was in January, right before they were supposed to get back to production, where she was like, let me call a meeting, which is a really reasonable time to do it because it's like, everybody's assembled to get back to set. So you call a meeting the day before. So it was January 4th where she had that meeting in her penthouse. And that to me seems like absolutely the smartest, most like mature business-like way to do it. I don't know why Ryan Reynolds decided to shout and let Baldoni make a big deal of that. But that she assembled a whole bunch of producers.
He was angry.
And a bunch of people that are on Baldoni's side to attend her house where she was going to address all this stuff.
I'd be shouting like
seems
a mother
really fucking professional.
Fucker. If you came home with all that shit and I ended up across from the guy,
yes, I know.
Especially if he's in a fucking I'm denying it stage, then I'm going to be like, if he's sitting there like going to try and fucking deny
I don't think that
what I believe you, I would believe you, I mean.
I know. I don't think I would appreciate you blowing up the meeting though, because
it's not
now he can claim that he was mistreated, like of course now he can fucking use that,
Baldoni says Foz, he leaked his behavior on his podcast when he finished filming. He said, I've been away and would resort to behavior from my past. His wife told him to read his own book. If that's true, I wish you could tell me if you know what episode that is, we'll go hunt that clip down. If you can remember what episode that is, I'd love to get that audio at least.
He also did a podcast for these other dudes, another podcast that came out, but had been taped around this time too. I can't remember what that one was called.
Fucking crazy.
That's a great tip. I didn't know that happened.
Jacqueline.
I can only stand up so much, like I'm listening to this audiobook and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I can't just like watch all of his podcasts. Like I do want to indulge in other media that I enjoy,
Yeah. Jacqueline says, will any of his quote stole the movie stuff matter when trying to disprove retaliation? No. Absolutely not. First of all, they're not going to be able to prove that she stole anything. There's nothing, it's completely intangible what they're talking about. They're talking about so-called control, and it's laughable because they own the movie. They're, Jamie Heath is the producer. They're both, high up executives in the company that owns it. Jamie Heath, the CEO and co-chairman, Justin Baldoni. Justin Baldoni is an executive producer on the movie. He's the director of the movie, and he's a co-star of the movie. I mean, they have and and still have all they had and still have all the power. They had all the power. They're going to try and call it creative control. And the problem is, and this is, I think, a part of maybe their inexperience, and that is that directors don't have all the control. That's never how it works unless you're a really big time director, unless you've proven, or you're highly independent. But if you're not highly independent, then it's the producers and the studio who control the fucking property always, because they have a very specific plan for the movie, creatively and contextually, and for the market, the marketing. They have a very specific marketing plan for the movie. So and they gear the movie toward that. So they were in control, is what you're saying. They were in control, or they lost control. Yeah. And I've maintained for months and months and months and months now, they lost control. Somebody there was going to pick it up. Will you read this one again though? Because I don't think that you really. I feel like I want to try to answer this. Will any of the stole the movie stuff matter when trying to disprove retaliation? And I'm saying it won't, because you can't. It's intangible. No, I know, but specific to retaliation, I don't think that it will matter, because all of this stole the movie stuff, this all happened behind the scenes. They're saying it's not retaliation what they were doing with the publicist, because they're saying he was defending himself. Retaliation is only specific to SH. Yeah, it's only specific to that. So I'm sorry. But listen, what Baldoni is saying that he and his publicist were doing was justified because he was worried about his reputation, about what Blake Lively was going to put in the press. So they were saying they were defending him from what she was going to say bad about him, and what the public was saying that was bad about him. But all of this stole the movie stuff was completely hidden from the public eye. So they cannot claim that they were trying to defend themselves from any of her having stole the movie or any of that storyline, because all of that was behind the scenes. We didn't even hear about any of the sold movie stuff until his lawsuit was dropped. Right. So it's like, there's no way that they can claim that there's a connection between his allegations that she stole the movie and his allegations, and his excuse for why he put all that bad press about her. Yeah, again, because they're accused of SH, retaliation is just off the table, period. So the only thing that they can do is go through the motions to use the issue that you're speaking about, right? This stole the movie stuff, as a part of their defense against what they are believing to be false claims. Yeah. Or claims. That's right. So it's the retaliation is only specific to the SH, and it's only going to be viewed in the light of SH. It's never going to be like they can't say, well, yeah, we did retaliate, but we were telling about something else. That's not going to fly. He would have had a much easier case to defend if he had waited until she spoke up and then started this whole hate campaign. He'd have an easier time defending it. But that he hired all these people and directed them to invent attacks about her with his own text messages. This isn't evidence. They don't dispute that that's real. So that he did that in August before his premiere even happened, and it wasn't until December that anybody in the public heard her side of the story, is really fucking bad news for him. Super damning. It's super preemptive, like way in advance. That's definitely an attack. You know what I mean? It's super damning. They're in such bad shape, and they know it. A scientist was saying that the new dockets dropped, and new documents dropped on the docket, and they seem to be. I can't wait. Terrified of it. They're terrified of everything right now. This is all so bad for them, and the reason why I think they're truly terrified is because she is grabbing them. She is pulling them by their fucking ankles. She is dragging them by their ankles into court, and they are kicking and screaming, and she's got a grip of them fuckers, and they are getting put on a stand. They are going to answer for their fucking behavior, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. She ain't fucking playing. And the funny thing about all this is when this goes down, watch what Taylor Swift does after it's all down. Watch what happens. Watch their reunion. Watch when they step back out from the shadows. Their friendship steps back out from the shadows and into the public, in a discerning manner as always, but they're going to make the moves, because I guarantee you that a part of her inspiration, Blake's inspiration, is Taylor Swift's trial, she won the $1, because that was such a symbolic trial, because she was like, look, I'm not here for money. I'm not even here to damage you. I just want the fucking truth, and I want everyone to know it. So I'm going to take from you $1. And I'm going to take from your mouth your lies.
Happiness in Your Life said, Dale's alter ego needs a name. Dale, you're like the Incredible Hulk. And then KK shows up and says, it's when Alan comes out to rant. Because you know when you said that your parents were going to name you Ellen if you were, and somebody said Alan?
Alan. Yeah, Alan. I said Alan. I said,
you guys are bringing up these old jokes.
That's really funny. Yeah, well, look, man. I mean, I get triggered by that basement scene because it's the most laughable thing, and it's the most obvious staged thing of everything, like that they put out.
Yeah,
it's the most.
It's the look on his face, dude.
And then, of course, his talk down that red carpet, because you can choose to not disparage somebody and not sit there and praise them to the heavens. He's so two-faced. It's disgusting to me.
Fel Bomling said, Dale tries to tamp it down, but he's gobsmacked at how badly Baldoni screwed this whole thing up.
It's the biggest fumble I've ever seen.
Fel Bomling said dumbsmacked, so I think it's dumbfounded or gobsmacked, like combined.
Yeah, dumbsmacked is
I like that.
That's book-worthy, that name.
Foz left to go to sleep, so Future Foz is going to catch up tomorrow.
Okay, Future Foz, man. I loved your comments. They're dope. I feel like toast, she says, I'm sorry. She says, I feel like I need toast with this tea.
Toast is Lily Bloom's favorite food.
Yeah, the smell makes her, does it turn her on?
No.
Oh, it just makes her comfort? It's comfort?
No, it's just like
I thought she was like, oh, there's toast. Toast.
I thought it was so funny. So Colleen Hoover wrote that Lily Bloom, that she woke up in Atlas's apartment and she smelled her favorite food. And she knew he was making breakfast because she smelled her favorite food. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm with you. Like bacon, right? She goes, no, toast. She said, I smelled toast. It's my favorite. I was like, Colleen Hoover, have you ever lived a day on Earth? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't think that's funny?
It is funny. It's just the most, it's weird.
I guess you don't think it's as funny as I do.
It's funny, but it's just weird.
It's so weird.
It's just like, it's weird. It's funny weird, I guess is what I'm saying.
Let's see. A scientist said, don't take any offensive steps, but I do want the Haley Bieber special.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. He's trying to get away with saying he didn't do anything wrong when he literally sent that to his fucking
what's funny is that they said
we would need something like this.
Yeah, it's funny that the way you're putting that because like I like that because it's like it's as if like maybe he didn't choose anything from your menu and he was like, no, I need you to bake me up this.
Yeah,
I ain't looking for the cookies you got on your fucking on your menu. I'm looking for this exact cookie.
Yeah. She really suffered when they put out this article. Let's do one of these on Lively.
And they delivered in a minute. And it didn't take long. Kirsty Flaw is a fucking, oh my God, she is the most vile thing. She and Popcorn Planet to me are the most vile, YouTubers I've come across. Their willingness to just, jump full in for money and fame and whatever else that they got. Man, I just hope they live a life of shame. I do. I'm disgusted by them. I've said it time and again, but that's just to me, the absolute lowest of humanity does what they did to this woman whom they don't know. I don't care if you don't personally like her. And it's something I like to emphasize here. It's like, it doesn't matter if you don't like somebody. It's cool. I don't like a lot of people in Hollywood too, but I wouldn't go out of my way to try to destroy them. I'm not going to, I wouldn't, do anything to anybody harmful on this show or otherwise. And that these guys are sitting there cashing checks and fucking eating off the plates and that food that's going in their mouth is coming from, the destruction of their words and their actions.
The tag menu.
Yeah. The tag menu. They're foul, both of them. And I hope they live in shame.
A scientist said there's another message from Sony. This is interesting because I remember seeing this, but I forgot about it. There's also another message from Sony in the days before the premiere. Listen, yes. Sony sends a message to Jennifer Abel telling her to knock it off with playing games in the press before the premiere. Because Sony's like, don't fuck this up. Like, let's lay low. We got it. We're good.
Yeah.
Just wait for the premiere.
Right.
So Sony sends a text to Jen Abel being like, can you guys fucking cut the shit? And that's in Jones's complaint because Jones is having to prove, and she's succeeding at it, that Jennifer Abel went rogue and was not working on her company's behalf. And that's why she should be liable for all of the things that she did.
Crazy.
I forgot about that Sony was writing his publicist. I don't think that he was even linked in that, CC'd or whatever.
So that was just I
have to go find that. That's really juicy.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to fit that in.
Yeah.
into the narrative.
A scientist said about the motion for summary judgment, why would you remind the judge of the orders you blatantly flouted?
Yeah, I can't even believe it. Oh, I said routed when I read it because my eyes is broken. I was like, routed's an interesting choice. Flouted, much better choice.
Oh, the Junk Farm says that they said that they never wrote any negative stories about them, but saying that Ryan is a scab was a pretty negative story.
Yeah, we know that we know they're lying, and we also know that a part of their strategy was to try to drum up old shit.
Yeah, defending himself is calling her a liar. I have so much reading to do. I want to learn what these crisis PR people learn. I got some literal textbooks from crisis PR college. You know?
Gotta be one of them.
And I want to find out what is it that they're supposed to be doing so that I can recognize what it was that they did that's so out of line and illegal.
You gotta be one of them book talkers where you read fucking 10 books a week.
I know. I have to. I gotta up my game. As soon as I can get through this fucking Baldoni one, I'll be on it.
Oh, somebody said we suck.
We do?
Laura Ha, you guys suck. You go to great extent to twist the narrative.
I know we suck.
Well, you call people names and say bad things about people.
We're doing it anyway though, because we're having fun.
Wait till you see what happens when the judgment comes down. What are you gonna say to all of us when Justin Baldoni is held accountable for all this? What is that gonna happen? Hey, listen, you know what I'm gonna say if Justin Baldoni wins? Holy fuck, I got snowballed. That's what I'll say. You know what I'll say? I'll say wow, I got bamboozled. What will you say when Justin Baldoni loses this case? Will you show up into our live and talk a bunch of shit? Is that what you're gonna do, or are you gonna go hide in the shadows of shame?
Is Alan coming up?
Alan's coming.
You don't want to see him when he's angry.
You guys suck. You guys suck. Listen to you. Having an opinion sucks on your in your view. You know, come on, man, do better.
You can just own it. You can say we suck. Fuck it.
I don't think we suck. I think we rock.
I know, but who cares?
I think we've got some of the best coverage on this topic on the internet.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, we have some of the best people hanging out with us, and yeah, it's dope.
Oh, this is important context that I forgot when we were answering that question about the retaliation and whether it has anything, whether they could claim that it was an excuse if she was trying to take over the film. Okay?
Yeah.
Hinata helped us out with this.
Okay.
Hinata, you're so great.
She is.
So they signed a non-retaliation contract binding themselves to not even make a sarcastic comment about her, let alone a derogatory one. And that's all that they did. Is
Hinata Renjip?
Yes.
Renjip? Oh, Renjip. Oh, that's Hinata.
Mm-hmm. I know. I don't know why it suddenly turned into... we used to be able to see different names on here. And now it's the usernames, the ads, or whatever.
Probably since... I don't
know. This is true. So it was in their contract.
I'm sorry. Say again. I got distracted.
So they signed a non-retaliation contract. And it binded themselves to not even make a sarcastic comment about Lively, let alone a derogatory one. And that's all that
they're just so screwed.
They're so fucking screwed.
And all these people who show up and be insulting and be shitty about it, all of them are going to be sitting there with the egg on their face. And you know what I'm going to be doing? Nothing. I'm not even going to stick your nose in it because you're just going to be living in it. Mm-hmm. You're going to be saturated by it. You know? But
don't feel bad because these guys are paid to lie to you. Like these publicists, it's their job to manipulate the media that you're receiving and to trick you. That's what their whole career is about.
And also really to divide you.
They're professionals.
They're not just about tricking you, but they want you to show up here and disrespect us. They want you to get in our face. They want you to be confrontational and because you know why? The minute that you come in here and you have this kind of confrontational attitude toward us and to the people who have a differing opinion than you, it closes your mind to hearing the logic. It closes your mind. It doesn't close our mind. It's your mind that gets closed because you're in here ready to combat and you know be combative and be shitty to people rather than listening to other perspectives and considering it. I've considered everything from the very beginning. The first thing that I heard about this thing, I was like, oh man, I bet you this poor dude got screwed because the same thing happened to me or a similar thing happened to me. I actually did have my movie stolen from me. Don's Plum. You can watch it on this channel. But I didn't get a release. I lost millions of dollars. I had my reputation destroyed. I had to go through a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the biggest star in the world, Leonardo DiCaprio. So I know all about it, you know? And yeah, you're getting bamboozled, man.
So I didn't realize, because you said new case documents, but I didn't realize that this is regarding a new. So All Scientist said there's a new letter on the docket. Wayfarer terrified about whatever's in the new case documents, but that's regarding Katie Case. Do you want to hear the story about this?
Yeah.
Katie Case is an employee of TAG.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So, or no, maybe it's Jennifer Abel. Maybe she worked. I can't remember.
I remember seeing her name Case.
She's non-party. Okay.
Yes.
So she is willing to participate in discovery. She's fine with it, but they're fighting over whether they can block her or not. Because there's some people that want her to participate in discovery and other people who are saying that she shouldn't. So she's basically just been telling the court, like, okay, well, you tell me what to do. And this new letter from Wayfarer is trying to block some of her documents from being submitted. Isn't that interesting?
Very. Let me answer this very simple question from Laura. Laura Haas says, so what do you say to the fact that even Taylor Swift can't take a stance? She is the godmother of her kids, and she didn't even do a supportive pap walk. It's a very interesting question, Laura. By the very fact that she's not going to stick her head into a burning inferno of shit caused by somebody caused by a misogynist whose goal is to invigorate women haters, because this isn't Taylor Swift's problem. This is Blake Lively's problem. So it's not Taylor Swift can't come to her rescue. You know who's coming to Blake Lively's rescue? The truth. You know who's gonna be the chariot for the truth? A federal court in New York. And you know who's gonna deliver the truth? 12 fucking jury members. And so my question to you stands. What are you gonna do when all of those things finally tell you the actual fucking truth? That Justin Baldoni is a pig. That Jamey Heath is a fucking pig. And that Steven Sarowitz is a fool who got bamboozled and fucking stolen from.
What do you think they're gonna do after this?
All the Wayfarer parties?
Yeah.
I mean, Melissa Nathan's gonna wreak havoc in the world.
I mean, you just said that Baldoni is like a misogynist pig. So obviously he can't just continue doing what he was doing. Like his book, Man Enough, is like, can't possibly be the same thing, the same brand that he's got now. I mean, that is very damaged.
No, that's over.
So how do you think that do you think he...
No, we talked about it earlier. I think you're right. I think he's going to go into faith-based stuff. I think he's going to
he's going to change his name or something?
He's going to become a devout, he's going to be devoted to his faith, Baha'i faith, and they're going to make Baha'i movies. And that's, I mean, this is like speculation, but there's no Hollywood career for him. Listen, nobody worth anything in Hollywood will ever trust Justin Baldoni, will ever trust Jamey Heath, will ever trust Steven Sarowitz.
I know, it's kind of sad.
Absolutely no movie star will ever risk having what happened to Blake Lively happen to them. Their career is fucking over. And here's the interesting part about this, Laura. It was their responsibility. All of it was their responsibility, and everybody fucking knows that. In Hollywood, the reason why Blake Lively is making a movie right now, the reason why Ryan Reynolds has a dozen projects in development and Blake Lively has several more in development, and Justin Baldoni has none, is because what Justin Baldoni did was burn down his own house. He burned down his own reputation, because when an actor, an A-list actor, really any actor, signs onto a project, there is a high level of trust in that moment. They are trusting them with their likeness. They are trusting them with their entire, multi-million-dollar career. A good example is, sadly, a star from the movie Gotti, which was directed by Kevin Connolly and considered one of the worst movies ever made. One of the stars, he just recently passed away in British Columbia. I don't know how. It sounds like it was like tragic and unexpected. But this man, 31 years old, right? He made Gotti however many years ago. It was a terrible movie. Again, considered one of the worst movies ever made, tied for the most Razzies nominations, so on and so forth. And this kid never worked again. He never did another movie since Gotti. That's how much trust we put in the producers and the filmmakers as actors. That's how much trust they put in us as filmmakers. They are giving us everything. And it's honoring that, collaborating with that is the duty of the filmmaker and the bond between filmmakers and artists and Hollywood and producers. Because Hollywood needs its stars, wouldn't you agree? That's how movies get fucking made, because big fat movie stars get attached to them. So if the producers and the directors lose so much control of their production that it literally destroys the reputations of otherwise perfectly good careers, they cannot be trusted with any property whatsoever. And by the way, we're not just talking about actors. They can't be trusted with 6 million, a 6 million book bestseller. They can't be trusted. It's sold 8 million since the release of the movie. But prior to the release of the movie, 6 million people bought that book. It was a massive big bestseller. And they can't be trusted with that either. Even though the property made $340 million, the person who wrote it recently did an interview saying she wished she hadn't. She's embarrassed to admit it. Do you know why that's a big problem? Because there was a fucking sequel. This was going to be a franchise. This wasn't going to be $340 million once. This was going to be $340 million 3 fucking times. And now it's dead in the water. So guess what that means? Wayfarer cannot be trusted with property. No writer in the world would sign a deal with them. And all they can do, from my fucking point of view, is steal. So I think they're fucking out of luck, bro. I think they're going to be making Baha'i faith videos for their 6 million or 1 million or however many Baha'i there are in the world. I think they're fucked.
Mr. Hands 57 said, with what on their face?
What did I say?
You said egg on their face.
Was it egg?
Yes.
Should I have said something else? Pie?
No, yeah.
Chicken pot pie?
Happiness in your life.
Fried zucchini?
LOL at Alan.
Alan. Alan! Alan!
Cozy Life. I can't remember who this was.
Oh, by the way, I'd love all the Baldoni fans to join us because we're going to be live through the trial.
Yes.
We're going to be live all day, man. We're going to go live,
Hey,
we'll turn on the switch, and we're going to be all day long. You can come here. I will fucking yell at you all day long.
I can't remember who this username was, but I recognize the pretty flowers.
Okay.
Cozy Life 797.
Yes.
You guys, I can't see the names that they used to have. Now I'm just getting these.
That sucked, doesn't it?
I know, it's no fun. Dale, when Blake wins, you and Angela should do a live show and we can all celebrate.
Oh, we will. Listen, we're going to be live through the whole trial. We're going to be live when that verdict comes out, I hope. I mean, we're going to, listen, as soon as they say the jury's back, we're live. We are live. Believe you me. We've been covering this thing since pretty much day one. I mean, no. I pretty much. I mean, literally, days. I mean, we started covering it within like the first couple of weeks.
Sassy Dave Navarro's been covering it since day one. We were on his coattails.
Spencer, yeah, I heard that it's most likely a drug overdose. We're talking about the star, the co-star of Gotti. His name was Spencer.
Yeah, he died at 33.
33 years old, yeah.
That's rough, man.
No, I didn't say it was the Gotti Cosmic Urgency that he took his life over. I said he never worked again.
Yeah, right.
I'm not talking about his taking his own life.
No,
Come on.
That wouldn't make
just
sense.
Ridiculous.
The Junk Farm has been offering so much amazing commentary. Of course, about RICO charges.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. This is let me scroll back up and find some of this. Also, regarding Ryan shouting, you know how Justin Baldoni tried to call him?
Like I'm sitting here screaming my face off. Imagine if somebody fucked you over.
Let that be a message to you.
Let that be a message to you.
You fuck with me, you're gonna get Alan.
I'm shooting over the bow. What are you doing?
You know how they Justin Baldoni sent that long text thread to his publicist where that he was like, hey, me and Steve Zarowitz were brainstorming about all the ways that we could fucking defame Ryan Reynolds in the press. And we're going to call him an anti-feminist. And we're also going to call him a union scab. Okay?
I mean,
you remember that?
That sounds like really like monitoring. Yes, yeah, I remember it
right.
well. I remember well.
Okay, so the Junk Farm said, I also heard that asking Blake Lively's trainer about her weight might have also been a union strike. It might have been because of the union strike, because the trainer is not allowed to plan out stunts. If that's true, you can really see Ryan Reynolds losing his shit. They have a union for stunts, and they tend to be really protective of their domain.
But I think this wasn't this guy, I thought he was a physical trainer and not like stunt.
Yes, right. But you can imagine that, I mean, obviously, I don't know if this is true. I'm going to have to look into the scenario again to see whether it seems like the timeline
I'm not an expert on the
up.
union rules either.
But Justin Baldoni wanted to call Ryan Reynolds a scab, but there is a bunch of evidence of Justin Baldoni trying to get around the union strike. Like, he wants to film around it. There's this one where he's talking to other producers and he's complaining that Lively is refusing to cross the picket lines in their production. And it's a real hang up for them because they were fully intending to cross the picket lines, but Lively said no. Mm-hmm. So they're like, look, she's difficult to work with. We want to be scabs and she's refusing to be. So I wonder whether he was going to solicit that kind of input from a personal trainer.
Cosmic says, I mean, he didn't work because of the drugs, not Gotti. Well, first of all, I don't necessarily agree with you on that. And secondly, Gotti was probably for him considered to be the opportunity of a lifetime, and it turned out to be an absolute fucking bomb. And so, we're not going to sit here, you and I, and be able to decide how it affected him beyond the common sense, assumption that it wasn't good, that it was something that he had higher hopes for than becoming one of the worst movies ever made. But I can tell you from experience in Hollywood that if you're in Gotti and it's the worst film ever made, it doesn't do you any good at all. All you are is in the same rut that you were in before that, or maybe even in worse, because if you're one of the reasons why it might have be considered bad.
Like in reviews and stuff.
Yeah, and by the way, if I know I'm the by the way guy, but if you're well, anyway, I'll just stay with that.
You must think about making that kind of film where you're like, oh my God, I get to play opposite John fucking Travolta.
Exactly.
This is a huge fucking deal.
He's directing.
This is a major studio picture. Like, I've fucking made it. And then it comes out and it turns into the biggest fucking joke that's ever been.
And you already have a propensity for these issues, addiction and otherwise.
Horrible.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, and I'm not saying that Gotti was the reason. I'm saying Gotti didn't help. I'm saying if Gotti is a successful movie, he might have had a different outcome,
Yeah, and a lot of people can take those kinds of dips in stride. Like, for instance, Jennifer Lopez, like she had Geely or whatever was a huge fucking bomb.
John Travolta's had bomb after bomb and come back.
Yeah, I know, but if you're wealthy and you have like a system of helpers, like fucking publicists and agents and all of this shit working for you already, then you can bounce back. But if you don't, you just have to go back home. You just have to leave Hollywood because you're not going to get any work and nobody wants to deal with you.
Well, I'm standing by my statement. I'm just saying that bad movies, that when an actor putting their name and likeness and their work history in your hands is a big fucking deal, and it can be you can very easily make the worst mistake of your career and of your life.
I'm going back to this topic. I know you keep jumping back to this Gotti thing.
No, go ahead.
Okay, but I want to go back to this. Like, maybe it was a going to the personal trainer.
I'm not going back to it. Cosmic and I are clarifying, and I think it's really great because it's a really super good point.
I know. I'm just trying to stick in the. You guys are having your conversation.
Put them up.
Hinata said Don Salidino wrote a post saying he never trained Baldoni. He redirected him to another coach. Baldoni kept talking to him. Ultimately, Don cut off all communication.
Yeah, I read this. I wasn't sure of its veracity, but I did.
A scientist said, I will always maintain that Baldoni planned to do the stunt himself. Planning to do the stunt himself was a workplace health and safety disaster waiting to happen. What if he had torn his back? What if he had fucked up his back for good and he couldn't fucking complete his film?
Yeah, but to the point of the case is that it was the back that was the issue.
Yes.
And then he turned it into her weight.
Yeah.
And that's a misogynistic fucking move all the way, bro. That's a guy who's on a misogynistic train. That you couldn't discern the difference between your back and her weight. Also a postpartum actor coming in and you want to start inquiring about weight. He's a father. His wife's been through it.
It's also there's no reason why he couldn't have just gotten busy casting his stunt double. You know what I mean? Like, go find a guy that looks just like you to do the lifting for you. All scientists said he didn't go to the stunt team because they would immediately say he needed to use a stunt double. I wonder why he didn't want to. I mean, if I had a bad back, that's what I'd be thinking of immediately.
I wouldn't go with stunt double on this because I would just rewrite it because it's as much as it was cool in the book. It was also 24-year-old this and, you know, whatever. These are grown people. They're not throwing each other around like that. You know, this is so to me. It
didn't end up in the movie.
And I'm saying so. I would have taken it all out.
She probably could have stood on a box, you know, but
right.
But in the book, I was really surprised. Before I saw the movie, I was like, oh, well, he's obviously talking about this huge scene, which is where he carries her like in his arms through a room full of people at a party all the way through the room to the bedroom. And she's like talking to everybody on her way out.
And by the way, all you have to do is hire a dance choreographer to pull off where she's assisting in the lift. Because she can assist on the lift in the same way that a dancer would, and you would be able to shoot it where you wouldn't be able to notice that she's actually being a part of what's launching her up into herself up into the air.
A scientist said, what if he injured Lively? Like if his back went out and he dropped her? It's just a mess.
Yeah, well, that's what they have insurance for. But you know, beyond you know the danger that he might have been putting somebody else in, the most important danger, the most important situation he was putting himself in danger. You know.
Yeah.
Let me address this question because I want to get to Feldbaumling saying, Dale, if Lively's weight post birth was such an issue, how hard would it have been just to reschedule the shoot for 12 months? Schedules are full, of course, from the beginning of this fall. It would have been a disaster. So a false start is probably one of the worst things that can happen to a movie.
She also probably doesn't have the time. She's probably booked on something else.
Well, you lose cast.
Yeah.
You'll lose cast. You'll lose your crew. You'll lose your DP. You'll lose all the money that you invested to get up into that point. A literal disaster is what it would have been. Yeah, no chance.
Obi Mom Kenobi says any other director wouldn't let an actor with a back injury perform a lift.
Well, I wouldn't say that actually, because you know directors are notorious. A director who cares one iota about his crew and his cast would not. But there are plenty of directors that are just fucking complete assholes and that don't who think of their actors as their tools in their endeavor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but there are actors out there there are directors out there who certainly are compassionate, empathetic, and connected to their cast, and I would say they're probably by and large the majority.
Hitnada said this lift scene was probably Ryle lifting Lily to the kitchen countertop. Baldoni is making it look like Brandon Sklenar in The Housemaid, where he lifts Sydney to his shoulder with one arm.
Yeah.
Or like I'm always joking about Adam Driver has to like hoist a woman up over his shoulder and run around with her squealing.
Yeah.
Like that's his right. Is constantly doing it in every movie.
He's got a clause in his contract.
The lift scene. So they actually provided part of the script that he was trying to clarify. Like, yes, there is a lift scene that Baldoni was very seriously trying to, as if he can't just rewrite everything. Like he's constantly in the evidence rewriting every scene, but he can't rewrite this one apparently.
She could hop up on the counter for a cute moment.
In the screenplay that he submitted as evidence of what he was thinking in the scene, the wording is scoop. He scoops her. I was like, you don't have to lift shit. You could scoop without lifting. Come on.
There are ways around it. Doesn't matter because this whole issue revolves around some idea that her weight was the problem and it wasn't.
Yeah. Hinata said this is all just to keep calling Blake Lively fat. Let's just be honest.
That's exactly it. There's no other way to look at it. That's what's egregious about it. Because if he didn't have a bad back, right? If he didn't have a bad back and he was like, oh, can I lift her? Then there's at least that, which is still weak sauce. But at that point, it's like, again, you're the weak one here. You're the problem. Like, it's just, and this is why, it's easy for anyone, including myself, to feel as though this guy has a narcissistic personality disorder because there's absolutely no thought at all that there could be anything wrong with him, even though what's wrong with him is the fucking issue at hand and he knows it.
So I want to leave with this one because I have to go.
Okay.
Mr. Hands 57 is asking, okay?
Yes.
This is a very important question.
Okay.
Would a Kevin Connolly It Ends With Us and a Justin Baldoni Gotti rebalance the universe?
No, it might cause a supernova.
Is this supernova?
It might cause a supernova.
Like a black hole?
It might cause a wobble in the moon. It might cause the moon to wobble, and then, of course, you know what happens to the oceans if the moon wobbles.
You'd be dead for sure.
Bad problems.
Don't even pitch it to Hollywood. We can't let it happen.
So, Dale, do you have any insider information from your Hollywood connections to this case? No, but it's funny that you should ask that, Laura, because I did get some information about, we've got some Hollywood people kind of watching this shit. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll start getting some inside stuff. But no, I don't got shit right now. Listen, you guys, including you, Laura, lovely having you here. I hope you'll come back. Please follow. You don't have to tell anyone you did, but follow and come back, and we'll argue it out. We'll fight it out, and you never know what we'll end up with. Maybe you'll end up on top here in this situation. You come back here, we'll all fucking hold you up. Like you ever see the Sylvester Stallone's Victory when he's playing in the soccer team, and the thing he's on the what's that, Rudy? We'll do that. All right. And I'm sincere about this, Laura. Please come back. The rest of you who spend so much time with us and hang out with us and make the show so fucking great, thank you so much. Shannon, I don't even know what to say. That is so kind of you. And, I know it's going to make a difference in terms of just how YouTube is viewing us in this young part of our growth. So thank you so much for your help. That is so kind of you. You're phenomenally generous. To our scientists and all the other mods, thank you for your help. I know that you guys knocked a couple off today. We don't want those nasties coming in here and fucking interrupting my rants. I love you guys. I really do. I love spending these times with you. I'm excited to be here again tomorrow night. We're going to hopefully finish this and be able to move on to the interrogatories by Monday. But if not, we're just going to keep plowing through it until we get it done, because that's what we're doing right now. Peace out, you guys. Love you. Good night.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye.